Ahem. And when he gets to heaven, to St. Peter he will tell, one more soldier reporting, sir. I've served my time in hell. Hello, Johnny.
Hello.
Welcome, one and all. Welcome to the Bad Game Hall of Fame. Welcome to Medal of Honor Underground for the Game Boy Advance. This is the show in which we play Medal of Honor Underground for the Game Boy Advance. Release info on this one, real quick out the gates. Speculated release dates here. I have found a lot of inconsistencies, but the one that I have generally went with is a December 2nd, 2002 release date for North America, followed by a December 6th release date in Europe that same year. I've seen some speculation that it actually released 2003, early 2003 in Europe, but there were reviews in European magazines that addressed a December release. Then there were also some reviews that came out earlier in 2002, like mid 2002. Like there was a Nintendo magazine in the UK reviewed this game August 2002, and so there's just, it's very messy when it comes to tracking down the actual release date here. So take these numbers, take these days in history with a grain of salt. We can say that this game released for the Game Boy Advance, not to be confused with its console counterparts, the original game for the PlayStation, which released in 2000. So this is a 2-year late conversion of sorts. We'll get into that when we get into the game. This conversion developed by Rebellion Developments. Rebellion!
You know 'em, you love 'em.
And published by Destination Software in North America, published by Zoo Digital Publishing in Europe. Okay, well, this one's been a long time coming. This is perhaps one of the most infamous games for the Game Boy Advance, one that we've only gone and written about. badgamehall-of-fame.com/medal-of-honor-underground-GBA, covering this contentious conversion. Before we get into it, let me ask you at the top here, what's your familiarity with Medal of Honor as a whole, as a franchise?
Yeah, played a couple random odd ones as a kid. Me and a school friend played a lot of Medal of Honor Rising Sun on PlayStation 2. I probably had a demo for one of the PlayStation 1 games, probably Underground at some point. I'm not super familiar with it. No, I think about a year ago, I did play through Medal of Honor Frontline on PlayStation 2. That was pretty cool. Though, a very difficult game by, like, modern standards. There's some real punishing, weird stuff. Like, what's the best weapon to defeat a tank? Grenades, rockets? No. A machine gun, because it's a higher rate of fire.
Yeah.
but still cool. And yeah, there's some more games in the series I want to check out at some point.
So, for me, my Medal of Honor journey begins with the first game on PS1. I believe it's a 1999 release. All the big budget of DreamWorks Productions, DreamWorks Interactive, I should say, Steven Spielberg money behind that initial entry into the franchise. And, you know, for a PS1 FPS, it's okay. It's pretty alright. It's fine. It's lavish. It is a game that doesn't hold a candle to stuff that was coming out on PC. It doesn't hold a candle to even like GoldenEye on N64 in my mind, but it's fine. I played Medal of Honor Underground on PS1. I liked it more. It had more going on in it, like the stealth sections in it, I think. I think there was maybe like one stealth section in the first game. But, you know, it's very basic stealth in the PS1 game, but it at least gave it some sort of angle. It at least... and, you know, playing as a lady. I always enjoy playing as a lady. But where it really came into its own is with Medal of Honor Allied Assault on the PC. That game is a banger. The multiplayer in it, in particular, is an all-timer. And then, you know, stuff like Medal of Honor Frontline and its depiction of a D-Day-esque scenario, which, you know, was kind of incredible at the time to see that on a console. And, you know, continuing with that franchise up until I pre-order a little game by the name of Medal of Honor 2010. It's actually just called Medal of Honor, but it is colloquially known as Medal of Honor 2010. And boy howdy, we'll get to that one when we get to that one, as well as its squeakquel and franchise killer, Medal of Honor Warfighter, one of the greatest names for a video game of all time. Yeah. What do you do in this game? Oh, you fight a war. You're the warfighter. Anyway, this is to say that Medal of Honor has a lot of untapped potential. Obviously, being an EA franchise that is not called Battlefield, it has gotten the short end of the stick. Again, we'll get into that when we get into the later Medal of Honor reboots and how EA basically set this franchise up to fail. But that's, again, for a much later date. What we're honing in on here is this Game Boy Advance game, released sort of in the heyday of the series, of the franchise. This is sort of at the peak when Rebellion Developments says, hey, we can bring your 3D first-person shooter for the PlayStation 1 to the Game Boy Advance. But could they really? Could they really? Most developers would do some sort of top-down 2D sort of take on it, would just completely reinvent the game, follow the same plot beats as the original, as the 3D first-person shooter. They might make some facsimile version thereof. In fact, there's another Medal of Honor game for the Game Boy Advance that is just a top-down action game.
That's the one after this, yeah.
That is much better, needless to say. Will not be showing up on the Bad Game Hall of Fame. But this is something. This is something special. And we do intend to show it off in full. I don't know if we'll get through it in full tonight. Probably not. I think my eyes will need a rest. Oh, fair word of warning. This game, hard to look at. That's kind of the big issue with it, is that it is absolutely imparsable at times. That while it does manage the feat of putting a 3D FPS on the GBA, it does so at a cost. And it's funny because, we've covered 3D first-person shooters on the Game Boy Advance before, on this show. Games that came out before this that look and play a million times better. I think of the X vs. Sever game for the Game Boy Advance. The first one, not the second one.
Yep, the first one, yeah.
And that comes out before, and it's not even close. So it's not a matter of the Game Boy Advance couldn't pull off this style of game. It is a matter of the team behind it. It is a matter of Rebellion Developments, and their fucking stink all over this thing. I have long held that Rebellion Developments are one of the worst developers in the game-making game. For my money, for my metric, we've covered Rogue Warrior on the show before, their magnum opus. We're yet to cover Shell Shock 2 Blood Trails, which is one of the most reprehensible things of all time, just in general.
And a pinball game they did, like it's based on a real table, I believe, or a PC game that they did for Game Boy Advance as well.
There's a lot to the Rebellion development story, a lot we will get to at some other point, for some other game, maybe like a Never Dead. When we cover that, we'll do the whole history of Rebellion.
Yeah.
For this one, we don't have a history section planned. I could have gotten into the history of Medal of Honor as a franchise, its origins. We just covered it briefly at the top here because I don't want to necessarily get into those weeds. We'll get into those when we get into the Medal of Honor reboots, I figure. When we do 2010 and Warfighter, then maybe we can do the whole franchise retrospective. But for now, let's cut away to that main stage, why don't we? And let's show up on that screen, why don't we, too? Hello. So, before we get into the Game Boy Advance game, there is one more bit of business I would like to attend to here that I would like to show off. And that's the original game, the original November 25th, 2000 release of Medal of Honor Underground for the PlayStation 1. Developed, again, by DreamWorks Interactive, published by Electronic Arts. And I would like this as a point of reference. I would like to play this to demonstrate what the source material looks like, what the Game Boy Advance game is based off of, and you'll be surprised at how faithful it is in certain regards, which is why it's important to show off at least just the first mission of this.
The First World War. Victory had been ours, but we would soon fail at the peace that followed.
So, they're getting into the story here. We'll get into the story as well in Medal of Honor Underground, on the Game Boy Advance, that is, on the GBA game. It is the same story. It's just told differently,
Yes.
obviously lacking FMV. But we're playing as one Manon Baptiste, who is based off the real-life Hélène de Champ Adams, who was a legendary member of the OSS, legendary member of the French Resistance. In the context of Medal of Honor, she's actually like your liaison for all your missions in the first game. She gives your main character there all of like the narration, like all of the missions in that game, and so it makes sense that this follow-up game would be a sort of prequel wherein you play as her. And I think it is a good direction. I think this is a smart move to make. I think it is a cool character. I think this is generally a pretty cool game. Maybe not the most impressive of its era, maybe not the most impressive first-person shooter of all time, but, you know, it absolutely has its place. Start a new game, we'll just jump into the first mission. I will let this cinema play out.
Sorry to call you over on such short notice.
We'll
I
riff.
have an important new mission.
Oh, yeah.
That Danish boy
Oh,
who-
it's Frontline uses a very similar
The one who keeps asking
on
me for
PS2
assistance.
to this.
He's
Framing
always-
device
But yeah.
of just like having these like, you know, projector
I did
Yeah,
FMVs.
yeah.
But tonight he's brought me. a
I'd definitely say at least on PlayStation 1, because the PlayStation 1 had a more mixed bag when it came to original first-person shooters. I think like all the best ones on there are all ports. But you know, in terms of an original first-person shooter, like this was one of the few on PlayStation that was like, oh, okay, they can do it too.
And even a few heavy machine guns. Just the kind of supplies we need to restart.
Carmen in chat
Oh.
mentioning that this game does have a dual analog control scheme. You'd have to elect into that. I'm going to go with just the basic controls. I'm familiar enough with them.
Since the Germans won't be expecting us. When this is all over, we may have a new member for our little resistance
yeah.
team.
Even though it wasn't standard, it's surprising how many games in the 90s did actually
Tell them
let you
you're
do
my
that.
sister, and they will help you. It's getting late. We'd better move out.
So this first mission, you know, we are members of the French Resistance in occupied France, occupied by the Nazis. We are going to go on a mission with our brother, who is also a member of the Resistance. We're going to hijack a truck filled with armaments. And that's all the setup you really need.
We get a movie poster, it's like a Left 4 Dead loading screen.
Oh, yeah. That's classic. All right. Left and right on the D-pad to turn left and right, up and down to move up and down. R2, move around. Triangle, jump. L2, crouch. L1, R1 for strafing. Circle, switch weapons. X, shoot. Square, reload. Triangle, jump. That's your lot. Very generous auto-aim in these games, unless you, I think, turn that off. You know, you have definitely options in this game, how you may choose to approach it. I think I would have to have menued earlier, go to the options, because I don't think you can bring up options mid-mission to change your control schema or what have you. But we'll make do. This is just a brief demonstration to show, like, hey, this is what a first-person shooter looked like in the year 2000, at least as far as the consoles were concerned. Pretty standard stuff. Not to say it's bad or anything. Get a load of all the scenery, too. Like, I really want you to, as folk are watching this, to look at, like, the level geometry here. Like, you know, that fountain that we started by here, this pathway, little divots
These
that
arches,
we can step into, the arches,
then
the
under the
bridge
bridge.
here. Going out into the courtyard. I'd like to use a petrol bomb just for funsies. All right. Have to hold it down. Oh, and
Well-
even then the range is. Ooh. All right.
Oh,
Note
right,
to
yeah,
self. Petrol bombs. Tricky to use.
Oh, Jojo makes a good point that the color of the sky, because it's at night, so you can have the draw distance.
Yep, a cute little.
You came.
Yeah. You found him.
Follow me and watch your back. Militia.
Also, it's funny that this is supposed to be under the Eiffel Tower, because this is not what it looks like under the
No,
Eiffel Tower.
not at all. I mean, you weren't there in the 1940s. What do you know?
That's true, yeah.
Occasionally, what you can do, you know, rather than going into manual aim, you can do like a jump shot. You can jump, and if you time it just right, you'll get the headshot. Like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
My preferred way to play.
Try to keep up.
So yeah, reverse escort. We're following him. He's taking charge. You know, this mission, this game does have a lot of variety in terms of like locales, time of day, that sort of stuff. It's not all nighttime raids in Paris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for PlayStation users, that'd be cool to see, not having GoldenEye as a point of reference.
I think they had the previous Medal of Honor. Yep.
Yeah, that or fucking the Twine by Black Ops.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's my immediate reaction every time I remember the World Is Not Enough on PS1 by way of Black Ops. They have Fugitive Hunter War and Terror. Check out our playthrough, folks. All right, wait for him to lockpick. You know, this is a pretty standard mission for this game. Some of them get more elaborate. Some of them have more action set pieces, as was the Medal of Honor style. This is just meant to introduce you to the game, and for our purposes, it'll just be a point of comparison. But, you know, I think if you are, like, a history nerd, which is to say history of video games, you know, maybe also the history of World Wars, particularly the Second, it is worth it to play this game, possibly. All right. Our brother's got the truck. Let's open that garage door. Mission accomplished. Oh, look at that frame rate. Oh no, our very good brother! Music in this game, by the way, fucking incredible. The full orchestral score.
Oh yeah, that is fun.
So there we go. That's our brother dead in the first mission.
Also, got through that level pretty breezy as well.
Yeah, all things told. Let's just show a second or two of the catacombs.
Yeah.
We finally get the Sten gun. My favorite World War II gun. It's so cool. It's such a piece of shit. By all accounts, but... Oh, they mentioned it in the notes, but I think we still have to pick it up. I think we probably have to find it somewhere in the catacombs. And that's what stealth looks like.
Yeah, yeah.
Stealth is loudly shooting someone in the back of the head, as opposed to the front, to where no one in front of you notices it. I would like to briefly show off the Sten gun, because we're going to get awful familiar with the Sten gun. I'll tell you that much about the Game Boy Advance
Is there any... I might be saying the wrong word. Is there any noise? Like, can the enemies... Okay, I'm going to say it simple then. Can enemies hear gunfire outside of, you know, the headshots? So if there is definitely, like... Nearby...
Yes, if they're close enough, they can definitely flag it. Like, this guy came running.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, this plays into... Later in the game, you're doing some... you know, sort of stealth missions where you're undercover, where you take advantage of the fact that you are a lady to, you know, dress up as like a war correspondent or a nurse or what have you, and that you're granted access that maybe that male soldiers would have been under more scrutiny, which is kind of Hélène Duchamp's, like, you know, what that was her in as far as, like, you know, her on the ground missions.
Yeah, yeah. There's a level in.
Yeah. Underrated.
There's a level in Frontline that's very similar to that, where you infiltrate like a hotel or something.
When I say the Nazis underrated, I mean the underrated women, not to say the Nazis, you know, underrated guys. Just to finish my thought, just to let's not let that linger. Okay, here's the Sten.
There it is. Also, I do love the way they've had to try and simulate the French catacombs and the Wall of Bones.
Oh.
Yeah. I was just thinking of like how the stealth stuff works, because I mean, that's what Doom, like, people forget, but like Doom has that essentially. Like, enemies can hear, and enemies like can be turned away from you, and that does affect things. Obviously, the enemy count's so high that you can't really stealth. But the fact that alerting enemies with gunfire and things like that is an actual mechanic in that game that some people probably don't even realize.
Yes. By the way, just to briefly explain, this game does have, rather than just being a point A to B, there are a lot of missions that have side objectives that are essential. They are essential, like finding those forged documents that I just found by finding like a hidden resistance cache. And also I have to seal up this tunnel. Do I have dynamite or anything of the sort? No. Oh, yes I do.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing. Now, there would be 2 entrances left to find. Get a load of this, this here. Why get a load of that? Because, again, we're getting into the Game Boy Advance game. This is still point of comparison stuff going on here. I flew through that first mission so quick, I just kind of want to remember what video games are before we descend into hell.
I mean, the speed you're playing at is also a comparison point that I want to highlight. Because that will also be different.
No.
This reminds me, when you play Frontline, there's a trailer. Like when you leave it, the attract mode plays in as a trailer. And they talk about advanced AI. And what they mean by that is not enemy, like, the NPC's ability to think. What they mean is stuff like the death animations and things like that.
Yeah, get a load of this guy, for example. Speaking of death animations, he got knocked down, but he's still potentially up if he lingers.
Yeah, it's funny to see a PlayStation 2 game try and say, oh no, this is advanced AI, that the enemy will sometimes fall over or, they'll die in different ways. And it's like, that's not, that's not what that word means.
It's marketing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's, it's charming in retrospect. Just funny.
Oh, and I see a cat.
But it's cool to see even this game.
No,
also, just a reminder of how influential, GoldenEye was, because I can see a lot of that blueprint in this.
I keep pressing the wrong button for action. Don't mind me. Wally, I'm trying to win the war here. Wally's my cat. I love them. They're a bad cat. They're very annoying. If you know, you know. Oh.
Yeah, Pro Striker 92, same for PlayStation 1 standards. This looks fantastic. Yeah, this is...
Yes, honestly, very impressive.
Tail end, but yeah, still really, really good looking.
And it's DreamWorks at this point. We're fucking cooking. They had so much money. I mentioned that Steven Spielberg money to make these games with just like lavish production budgets that very few other developers would have had the benefit of. So you can call that an unfair advantage of a sort. Ultimately, though, it just resulted, if it results in, like, pretty solid games that make you feel like an action movie badass. This is around the time where fucking, Band of Brothers, Saving Private Ryan, where Steven Spielberg, again, had basically, like, been producing all these, like, banger World War II media properties. Okay, so this is actually kind of good that I did not complete all the objectives. Warning, not all objectives met. So here's the thing. This is where we're going to stop. I'm not going to go back and backtrack, but this would be the point where I would have to go back and backtrack to go find the entrance I forgot to seal up. So that is a mechanic of this game, is that if you do not complete all the objectives given to you, you don't finish the mission. You got to go back. It's not like GoldenEye 60 on the N64 where, if you forget an objective, you do fail the mission, but, you can just switch to a lower difficulty and you'll have less objectives to do, to the point where, like, Agent is just very straightforward A to B. Now, you are made to put in work for your role in the Resistance in this game. So that's all I need to show off of that. Let me let this cat out real quick, Vamp.
Yeah, no, that's a good look. It's a bad thing to say, but when we're going through that first level, I was just seeing the level layout from the Game Boy Advance version because that is the version I'm more familiar with.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm ruined forever on this game. This is a game that, we obviously wrote about back in the day. And I also turned Derek from Stop Skeletons from Fighting onto this when I was writing for that channel. They featured in, I think, one of the 3D GBA videos that they did. And yeah,
That's how I found out about it.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we've put it off long enough. It's time to play the game. I'm going to shrink our avatars just a little bit more while this boots up. I have the feeling I need to press a button. I have the feeling I need to press...
Yeah.
Ooh.
Get the old GBA whirling.
So, production quality, out the gate. We don't have the benefit of, full motion video. What can you expect?
Yeah, there were a few on Game Boy Advance, but it was a rarity.
Press start. Oh, I've been shot. I can't go on with the stream. I can't play the game, Johnny. I'm so sorry. Nah. You're not buying
It's the same little room, though.
Yeah, but without the soldier in the corner here. And also, look at these. The way that the lighting, the quote-unquote lighting works.
Yeah.
Brutal. Music on, off. That's our audio options. Difficulty, okay. This does also, I think, impact enemy routines very slightly, but the primary gimmick here with difficulty select is that when you're on easy mode, every mission you begin with full health. Medium is you start with at least 50% health. So let's say you finish a mission, you have 10% health remaining. On medium difficulty, as you start the second mission, it will give you 50% health at least. It'll be okay, we'll top you up back up to 50% here. Hard is just health carries over level. If you come in with 10%, you're stuck with 10%. And if you die and have to restart the mission, it will remember that value. That in mind, we're just gonna do this on medium. It also changes the passwords, the passwords to skip ahead in the game. Because there is no save here, there is no battery backup for progress. So, you're going to be relying on passwords here. I don't want to press H on it. I really don't want to do this. But we're going to do it. Mission 1, occupied. Bonjour, Manon. I'm sorry to call you over on such short notice. This is just as good as the voice acting in the PS1, right? Me delivering this on top of no music. But we have an important new mission. Remember that Danish boy who lives below me? You know, the Mel's? That's absolutely imparsible because of the font.
That's a new letter there.
The one who keeps asking me about the resistance? He's always saying that he wants to join because his home country is occupied just like France. Cyber Trollo asking, are we going to do multiplayer tonight? You betcha. Yes, we are. I didn't think he was serious, but tonight he's brought me a tip that we should definitely take advantage of. Remember how the Nazis took over the Paris Academy of Music and started using it as a makeshift armory? I do recall. That does spark a memory. Gilles said that they are transferring a whole truckload of ordnance later on tonight. Let's drop the accent. From there to the Gestapo field office in Dubessance. He stole a copy of the manifest and showed it to me. The truck will be carrying crates of ammunition, explosives, small arms, and even a few heavy machine guns. Ooh. Just the sort of supplies we need to restock our weapons cache. I will need you to be my lookout tonight while I hijack the truck. It should be fairly simple, since the Germans won't be expecting us. Foreshadowing. When this is all over, we may have a new member of our little resistance team. So you may have noticed this is the same narration from the FMV. As always, if we get separated, head for the catacombs and meet up with the people there. Tell them you're my sister and they will help you. It's getting late. We'd better move out. And even these screens, the dossier.
I actually forgot how bad the font treatment is in this.
Oh, it's awful. Meet beneath the Eiffel Tower. And Oh, God. Ominous music appropriate for the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, so quick control check. Left and right, we'll turn left and right. Up and down, we'll move up and down. L and R will strafe. B will switch weapons. A will shoot. Start to pause. Select to reload. Oh.
Yep. There we go.
Bart Simpson.
But yeah, just
if we press L and R at the same time, we crouch. There is no jump in this.
mhm.
And there's also no free aim or
Yeah.
shooting up and down. It's all actors are infinitely tall.
Yeah.
Say something nice.
Nice.
Okay. Okay, I got this. I remember how I told y'all to look at, you know, the geometry here. There's that fountain. Here's this angled
Yeah.
hall. We don't quite have all the divots in the side, but do you see what
Yeah.
Rebellion has done here? Oh, there's the divot. There they are.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, in
People-
terms of just like the geometry layout, it is the same as the PlayStation 1 version.
Yes. That is
For better-
impressive.
And for worse.
And for the worse at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, obviously
Okay, yeah,
they
this
simplified
is-
a lot. Like, this used to be a gate.
Yeah.
You would see the cars on the other side of it.
Mhm.
So, you know, there's obvious concessions here, you know, bearing
Yeah.
in mind. And, you know, there's also, like, barely any prop objects. You know, like, in the catacombs I
Yes.
saw, like, the
Yeah, yeah.
chessboard and then the wine cask.
Look
that
at
they were sitting
look
on.
at the big wall behind you, by the way. So yeah, not this. No, the more left.
The
Yeah,
more
this
left.
one.
Here? Here?
More right now. Yeah, this one.
The boxes.
Yeah.
They're multiplying. Okay. So what is going on here? Why is it like this? You know how the
Yeah.
PS1 has affine texture warping? To simplify greatly what affine texture warping is, it's where you don't have fixed coordinates necessarily for applying textures to surfaces. So what the effect you get is that, you know, as you move, it shimmers, it swims, it shifts in real time as it's like, you know, constantly recalculating for new coordinates and like coming up with it on the fly. Here on the Game Boy Advance, they are using some sort of similar 3D rendering technique here, Rebellion. They are using some technique wherein they are not tracking, like, you know, how big this wall actually is in real time, the way they are applying textures to it. So as you move further and closer to it, it is just shifting. And it is also as a consequence of this, what you'll see as you get like really close to certain textures is that it'll invent colors as well. It'll start to
Yeah.
add colors that were probably not originally intended to be in the graphic. It is absolutely wild, and as we get deeper into the game, it becomes just harder and harder to look at. You know, you can also
Yeah.
notice that, you know, the game is running at, like, you know, it is not using every pixel. There's a lot of doubled, quadrupled pixels here. You can use the pixels at the
And-
bottom of the screen for point of reference for how big a pixel should be. And, you know, also not using the whole screen. This is to try and
Yep.
preserve as much frame rate as possible. The less stuff you have to update on a per frame basis, the faster your game can theoretically run. This is the fastest this will theoretically run. This is where the Eiffel Tower is supposed to be, if
Yeah,
you recall.
that's just just deleted here. And yeah, people have been mentioning the bright blue enemies. That's probably partially also to deal with the Game Boy Advance screen not being backlit, which is also why this game is so bright. And that's maybe partly as well why they didn't go for a black sky. But who knows with this? But yeah, it's funny actually because there's some other 3D games on Game Boy Advance, especially the ones by VD Dev, that do have very PlayStation 1-esque like affine texture warping stuff. So there are developers who did do that technique and do it right. Oh, protect your brother.
So our brother lacks the capacity to assist us in this game. In the PS1 game, he was murking Nazis. In this one, he is just doing his routine. He is on his path. He can get killed, I think, if we don't stop the Nazis.
Yeah. God, I forgot how hard it's to tell what direction the enemies are even facing in this.
Oh, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Speaking of impossible, sometimes, you may have noticed there's been moments where I've not been shooting at Nazis, despite having them in the crosshairs. It's not for lack of trying. I am tapping the A button to shoot.
Oh, yeah,
and there are times where it just drops inputs.
Yep. You
Like here.
You gotta frame rate this. Yep. You gotta frame rate this low. Like, a lot of inputs are not gonna come through. Also, yeah, Bob Nayer mentioning every time you play this, I have absolutely zero clue how to read the health bar. So what it is they're trying to emulate the gradient that the PlayStation 1 version had, and it would like, it was like a translucent effect where like as the health bar would go down, there'd be like a dark layer beneath. Like think of like a fighting game health bar, just like in a circle, and they've for some reason tried to emulate it exactly the same.
But for point of reference, just to be able to read it, just to show what we're full health right now. Green, the fact that we see green indicates that we are at full health.
Yeah,
yellow is the 50% mark of our health bar, and red is critical.
Yeah, you will see like the border of that circle like darken. I think like in a clockwise pattern.
Yes,
but it is
starting from 12
done
o'clock.
way worse here. It is way harder to read.
Oh, here we go. Those are some frames. Because we got to draw a ceiling. When you have to draw a textured ceiling, you can watch the performance die.
Oh.
That guy was straight up invisible.
Yeah.
That'll happen a lot. There's also a lot of seeing through walls. You may have noticed that we did take a step up here. We did change verticality.
Ooh.
At a point here. So this isn't just like Wolf 3D where everything is like, flat plane.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of bad first-person shooters on Game Boy Advance, that Wolfenstein 3D on Game Boy Advance.
I mean, compared to this, that's a masterpiece conversion.
But also, like considering how rudimentary that game is, it is shocking how bad that version is.
Where's the truck?
Oh, right, yeah.
I think we got some bad
intel. Have to hoof it. Yeah.
Well, I'll open the door.
Hey, open door.
Protect your brother. Okay, don't gotta tell me twice. He's my brother, after all. Oh. I shouldn't keep moving forward while this is happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got him. Hey, look, our brother's alive.
Hey.
Everything turned out okay. It may have been a trap, but, by cunning, by skill, we saved our brother, and we're gonna salvage this. All right, brother, come with me to the catacombs.
Oh. Oh, I forgot about that.
On to victory. If you are reading this, your attempt to steal munitions did not go as planned. Jocks was always rather impetuous and inclined to trust, and now it seems the Gestapo are onto us. Yeah, so our brother did die. They forgot to animate that part. They forgot to do the part where he gets killed by the Nazis in the trap. So that'd be very confusing, I would think, if you have not played the PS1 game. And know exactly what you're getting into here. Our group combat has been using the catacombs to move personnel and supplies, and now we soldiers of the night must evacuate. Fortunately, we have planned for our eventual discovery. With this note, you will find a Sten submachine gun. The Gestapo and Vicky's milice brutes that have been coming through crawl spaces connect to the street above. Each entrance is above the main level of the catacomb, and moonlight will be visible through them. Yeah, good luck with that on the fucking GBA. We have explosives placed ready to do the work. Detonate them by pressing the action button at the spots marked with a red box and stand clear. We also need you to secure some forged papers hidden behind a crawl space marked by the resistance symbol. Then sneak through the sarcophagus room to find an exit leading to a mortuary where an ex-collaborator awaits burial outside Paris. Collaborator. Take his place in the hearse, and one of our agents will get you to the Sainte Marie des Champs, where you shall be safe until the heat dies down. And at this point, we have our Sten.
Yep.
Comment
Well,
on the
half of
Sten.
Yeah. Yeah, half of it. You know what? When I played this on Game Boy Advance for the first time, I didn't realize what gun this was supposed to be, even.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to discern.
I was just like, oh, machine gun of some sort. Because you got so little work with it. Something I will mention out the gate, because this is important to mention, so...
Wait,
This-
first, do you
oh,
see what's happening
yep.
here? See that little mini Nazi that we
Yep, the
basically
light-
saw
yep.
through the wall? That's the problem with having elevation here. The way this works is that as we change elevation, things that are on different levels, the obfuscation of like a wall doesn't work anymore. So that's why we go up a step. And yeah,
okay.
So that's another reason why you don't try to
Plus-
do this.
Well, I'll mention it because before this came out, a conversion of Doom was released on Game Boy Advance based on the Jaguar port. And, you know, Doom has elevation changes, and that version runs fine. It's definitely, you know, a compromised version, but it's far more playable than this. Yeah, there's those little lines.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll mention a key thing here. So, I don't know if this was like a recent development or something, but I know for a while, or maybe it was like specific emulators. So yeah, so some people might question like, oh, how much of this is just, does this game not handle in emulators properly? Funny enough, some emulators actually would not emulate the game's issues properly. If you've like run this in certain emulators, it actually fixed the texture perspective issue, where, you know, they would actually display properly. Like certain emulators, whatever way this game's coded, certain emulators didn't know how to deal with it and would somehow fix the issue.
Which we don't want. We want to show this
Yeah.
as it was meant to be seen by Rebellion.
Yeah. And I could confirm, because I do own this on Game Boy Advance, I guess this is pretty much how it is. The frame rate might be slightly better. And when I mean slight, I mean literally maybe like 1 or 2 frames. But in terms of the graphics, the displacing of the textures, the layering issues, the random pixels, the line that comes up, that is all hardware accurate.
You know what this game needs? A fucking map. But that's
yeah.
a whole other issue that we could get into.
Because yeah, when you simplify the textures, because you know it's on a Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
a lot of
these
this
textures
starts to look the same.
All these textures way too busy. That's a big part of the problem, is that they went with too busy graphics. Is a big sin of Rebellion in this one. They found a way to cram a lot of pixels into their textures, but did not stop to think, should we do this?
Yeah.
Classic Rebellion move. Because if they were streamlined, you know, the trick that a lot of... Oh, this was the secret passage. Remember how we had to climb a ladder to find it? To find the resistance symbol and then ultimately crawl the way up there? They decided not to do that. They decided not to go with that degree of, like, elevation to where you're climbing ladders and stuff. The problem is that it makes it that much harder because everything's on the same plane, basically. That everything is basically like on ground floor for the most part, with minor changes in elevation. So it does make the levels that much less unique. And, you know, the other thing, and I don't even remember what point I was going to make before this, so that's just lost to the ether, sad to say. But, you know, Wolfenstein 3D, right, is a game that we're referencing. We're going to continue to reference here. Is that a thing that it does, because, you know, a lot of those rooms, a lot of those levels look very samey. You have the benefit of an auto map which comes very much in handy. Hey, remember this circle? Remember this circle from the PS1 game?
Yeah.
But what they did was they would put certain props in certain rooms, right? They'd put like a table and some chairs in a room, or a barrel there, just to be like, those are called landmarks or wayposts, signposting. They are ways to distinguish one room from another. That help in giving an identity to each room and being like, oh, I've been here before from sight. This game does away with all the prop objects that existed in the PS1 game.
Yeah.
So every room is just a square.
And I imagine that was, because you probably would have done it in the Wolfenstein way still, where it would have been billboarded, like flat sprites.
All the objects we
imagine,
pick up are, yeah.
Yep. And all I can imagine is it was like, nope, the frame rate's even worse when we put any of these in. Like the ones that are already, like the key ones, like the item pickups, the enemies. That's the budget we have. We can't put decorations in.
It's a shame because, like,
also,
beyond just, like, fleshing a place out, giving it a sense of being, like, lived in, occupied, real, it is also incredibly useful for, like, signifying, okay, without having to check the map, I can tell I've been through here before because I recognize that configuration of table and chairs that, this space. It allows you to put, like, a description to a place. So it is sorely lacking in this. That was the last of the objectives besides escaping, I believe, so.
Yeah. So I'll highlight this comment from Dragon Slayer Berserker in chat. So the funniest thing, so there's also the compass, which you could attempt to use for navigation. But their comment is, the funniest thing is the letters on the compass shift as well. So it's really hard to actually see what direction it's facing. Yeah, there's depending
they all
on what
look like north
direction,
to me. Yeah, it's
from certain directions, it's like those aren't letters anymore. Like when it's like you're on like the north, east, south exact angle, you can kind of read the letters. Once you get in between the cardinal directions, it's just a mess.
I got turned around, big problem. Okay, thank God we found an enemy who's alive. That's the only way we can really tell which way is forward progress. But when you get turned around in this game and every room looks the goddamn same, and unless you're really paying attention to the compass directions, if you're even able to interpret them, it's very easy to backtrack inadvertently. Sometimes to the beginning of the fucking level if you're a idiot like me, which I've absolutely done in the course of playing this version of the game.
Yeah, and I don't think the enemy sprites stay around.
No, they don't, unfortunately.
Then so again, like a lot of Doom.
Oh, this is absolutely
conversions
backwards.
Imports.
I can see the gun on the ground. That's what that is an ammo pickup.
Yeah.
So that's lucky me I didn't pick that up.
Yeah, it's the closest other comparison. Yeah, definitely Doom versions. I would also have to get rid of that because again, on a console, they couldn't keep all that in memory.
Read me that question from Cyber, if you don't mind.
Yeah, okay. Cyber Cholo in chat asks, so do we know if this game was rushed or something, or could Rebellion just not get along with a Game Boy Advance?
This is the dead end.
Yeah, we don't know rushed or anything like that, but I know something specific because when I learned about this game, I wanted a copy for myself. And I brought a UK copy. And the wild thing about the PAL release is it fixes the texture perspective issue. It's not an issue in that version. And the frame rate is, again, maybe a bit better. It's still pretty much the same game. And stuff like this gun, the sprite being cut off, the way the game handles and looks and sounds, like all that's the same. But at the very least, there is a physical version of this game that did fix some of the rendering issues. But unfortunately, why that's the case, we don't know. Someone involved would probably have to reach out, or we would have to try and figure out who would know. The two theories we have is either, because we don't know when they released, is either the North American one was rushed to market and then they had to fix it up, or the potential other theory, if they did release really close together, is that a like unfinished ROM accidentally got sent off for production.
Yeah, I doubt
and
it's
because
that.
because if they were making cartridges, you know, you can't really fix that quickly.
Oh,
The only reason why I say that is because I know other games that has happened to,
Sure.
where like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 remix on PSP, that's a beta version. And I don't remember the name of it. Some PS2 game that Brad Muir worked on.
Without a trace. Welcome to Sainte Marie de Champs, Manon. My name is Fabrice Delacroix. It seems trouble continues to hound you. A panzer unit has surrounded the village, and they have brought the milice with them. They are conducting a house-to-house search for members of the combat resistance group. The village is a major center for the printing and distribution of our group's underground newspaper. We need to get several key members out of town before they are either located or outright denounced by those they call friends. To slow the search, we've hidden weapons throughout the village, used them to disrupt the milice and the Panzergrenadier. We must protect the businesses that are helping to print and distribute the paper, find and destroy the bundled papers at 3 locations around town. A local butcher has been using his trucks to get the paper to surrounding towns. If the milice have discovered the trucks, destroy the compromised vehicles. Finally, find and hide the printing press. Many lives are depending on you, Manon. Bonne chance. And we're back in it. I also want to say on the Rebellion thing that, you know, the one credit that I will give Rebellion is that when it came to developing games, they developed them under budget and on time. That is how they kept getting jobs, despite the fact that they, for a long time, before Sniper Elite became their only game that they bothered with, their only franchise, they were putting out like 30 Metacritic, 40 Metacritic, this like critically reviled games for the longest time. And so, like, my thought process is that this probably came in on time. I don't know if it was necessarily rushed, or if they were just always in a rush. Now, people are pointing out the cobblestone floor here. Now, here's a little trick that better GBA games, better 3D first-person shooters on the Game Boy Advance have used. Use solid colors for your floor.
Solid color, yeah.
It will double your frame rates and also make it so that the game isn't completely fucking inscrutable.
Yes, like so much of this game, if this was a hobbyist homebrew, like, hey, look what I could make the GBA do, it would be like, oh, that's cool. It's amazing to see what this hardware can do, but this is not something you would ever make as a game. But no, this is it. This is the commercial product. Like, it comes off like a weird tech demo vibe of like, oh yeah, this is the most we can push the hardware to do something that's in a 3D engine, but just yeah. And much like we said in the Catwoman playthrough, I know this isn't like technically published by Electronic Arts, but I imagine they would have had some say in this.
I mean, they certainly licensed it. Yeah.
Either they didn't say no, or they had some sort of contract where they couldn't say no, regardless of what the finished product they were given was.
Or they just didn't give a shit.
Yeah. I mean, definitely at that time, a lot of publishers or developers that were getting handheld versions of their games made weren't really concerned with how good the handheld versions were. Just as long as...
No, they got a percentage for licensing it out, and that was all they necessarily... Yeah.
Sorry, that wall in particular freaked me out. That's the thing, if this doesn't like give you physical eye strain, this might give you a more like mental, like Cthulhu-esque, you know, Mouth of Madness strain. Because you have, it might not hurt your eyes, but having to understand this as a 3D space could be a point of contention. Oh!
Yeah, I wasted so much ammo trying to shoot while walking up the stairs there.
I thought that guy realized he was 2D for a second and, like, turned around to make himself invisible.
I found a machine gun.
Oh! I thought you broke the box and the wood was just floating there.
No, there are boxes you destroy, then ones that you reveal the machine gun in.
Yeah.
And, you know, one good thing this game does is that when you are in proximity to an objective, it will remind you of the objective. You know, often use the crosshair to flag it. Now, I think it's best to use this for this.
Yeah, again, weird amount of features from the PlayStation 1 original they were able to keep. I did briefly look up to see what other Game Boy Advance games Rebellion developments did.
They did a Tiger Woods game on the Game Boy Advance that was their first dabbling in 3D.
Yeah. That looks like that came around the same time as this. There was also a Snood.
Yep. That's a classic of like DOS freeware.
Yeah.
From back in the day that they just decided to bring over the Game Boy Advance at a certain point.
And I think we played this, the Midnight Club Street Racing. They did the Game Boy Advance version of that. That's like top-down GTA.
Oh, I remember Chucky really hating that one.
Yeah, that one's hard to, like, you know, more sensible design, but just a real brutal game. And like I said, there's the pinball one that for some reason isn't mentioned on their Wikipedia page. That I don't remember the name of.
There's evidence.
So maybe that pinball game is their best Game Boy Advance game because it's just, you know, it's digitized 3D, and then just like pinball sprites over the top. So it works fine.
You know, the best thing about the Sten is that it's fully automatic. So as long as you get it shooting once and you just hold down the button, it continues to shoot. So it does sidestep the issue of dropped inputs. Now, problem, something that we should mention here, you know, for this gun, you know, for the fact that it is, you know, how do I want to say this? This is the only goddamn gun in the game besides the pistol. That's not entirely true. Okay, so you get a shotgun for one mission that is broken very late into the game. Now, Medal of Honor Underground, the PS1, it had a small variety of weapons, you know, like you could steal enemy arms, so you had a couple variations on the pistol or machine gun or what have you. But because those would have been more sprites, it would have been more work, and because they didn't know how to program anything besides this hit scan SMG and hit scan pistol, they don't know how to program the I don't know if you noticed or not, but the Molotov cocktails weren't fucking working because the trajectory on them is busted in some sort of weird way that makes them really hard to use. But yeah, they cut out like basically the entire arsenal of the game in the pursuit of facilitating just like a streamlined experience. And again, it's hilarious that the shotgun does show up for like one mission. But get used to this fucking sprite. You know, for the fact that the sprite is on screen for 99% of the game, you think they would have finished drawing the graphic in on the right-hand side, or just like just put it a little lower in the frame, a little less of it on the screen, just a little. Okay, no, okay.
It's. I wonder if that. I'm going to try something here. Let me see.
And that's with the music. Can we just comment on the music and how wonderful it is? You know, the Game Boy Advance not known for its sound processing. Yeah. For the fact that it didn't have a bespoke sound processor, right? Or you can explain that while I slog through this.
Well, I'll give it to this on. It's the best one we've heard so far. But yeah, no, individual games had to make their own sound processing and sound fonts. You could do some pretty impressive sounding stuff on Game Boy Advance,
but would eat into your budget for like, you know, other stuff on the system, like your graphics processing or what have you. Can I just shoot this truck without having to use the Molotov cocktails? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Oh.
Oof.
I'm still... Okay. So, what my theory was is like, why is this cut off? And part of me was thinking, okay, the original game would have been in 4:3, and this is in whatever the Game Boy Advance
3:2
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never remember, but
it should be 240 by 160 pixels.
Yeah. I'll just call it widescreen-esque because it, you know, is wider. So that was me thinking, okay, wherever they captured this from, maybe they literally, you know, had a 3D mod. But here's the thing, I don't know what gun this is, because it's not the Sten. I double-checked an image of what it looks like in Medal of Honor Underground. Obviously, we saw it earlier, but just to see it in front of me. So I don't know where this is from. Like, I even saw some screenshots of some other guns that are in that game.
Yeah.
I don't know what gun this is. Like, maybe that's still true that, yes, they captured this from, like, a 4x3 game and inserted it and realized too late, oh, wait, this is cut off. And if we move it to the side, then the player's gonna... They're like, you know... The player character's gonna be way off to the side. It'll look weird. What the fuck is going on?
I think this shutter is supposed to, like, you know... do something, but instead I just walk through it and see whatever that object is. Now, I don't think I completed all the objectives. Oh, I did? That's lucky. That's incredibly lucky that I actually managed to complete all the objectives. I could have sworn I missed something there. Incredibly lucky, because I was prepared to fully backtrack through that entire goddamn mission. I think that was the printing press that we were meant to hide to obscure. Ah, mission 2. Hunting the desert fox. Good morning, madame. My name is Colonel Hargrove. I'm from the Office of Strategic Services. I heard you've been looking for us. While we've been aware of your brother Jacques for some time, we had never heard of Manon Baptiste until you made contact with us. With both your anonymity and your brother gone, you could have easily opted to return to a quiet civilian life. You could have even collaborated. We're preparing to launch a major assault in North Africa very soon, but all the men we've sent out have had their covers blown. Now, a Vichy propaganda machine has sent a female reporter to Casablanca to profile the brave men of the Africa Corps. We want you to intercept this woman and take her place. It should provide the ideal cover for getting in there and seeing what Rommel is up to. If successful, your exfiltration would be by airplane. That's perfectly suited for this kind of special operation.
Nope.
You'll be briefed on the rest of the specifics during your transit to the African continent. It's a privilege for the OSS that you want to join our ranks. Be careful and good luck. I'll see you when you get back. Yeah, so we are into mission 2. Funny thing this game does, it loses count of the missions at a certain point because, you know, it's trying to base the mission structure off of the original game, but there are some missions they outright skip in this game because they would have been too hard to bring on over. So it fucks up the ordering of the missions at a certain point. Anyway, that's just a small... hello, Menon. My name is Captain Ted Aubrick. I was part of the original OSS office in Washington and just been assigned as your control. I must say, it's always exciting to watch our ranks grow with brave, honorable individuals such as you. How are things in sunny Africa? You were to be meeting a local operative, but unfortunately he has since been discovered. The mission now rests solely on you. Local Nazi agents are searching your hotel, and they've brought troops from the Africa Corps with them. Escape the hotel, find your way to our operative's house. There you will find a dossier on the logistics officer... or logistics office. Sorry, really hard to read this font. That's why I'm trying to read it for the benefit of folk who want to know what it says on the screen. Who has been shipping supplies to a secret base in the desert to the west. Use this dossier to locate the officer's house. You will find the location of the Africa Corps supply base there. Things seem to have rapidly fallen apart, but by acting fast, you can still make Operation Torch. I think that's Torch. It's Torch or Tourette. Or Turek, perhaps? A complete success. Choose a better font, assholes. That's, you know, that's at the end of the day, choose a better font. After getting out of the hotel, find the operative's house and obtain the dossier and the logistics officer, then find the location of the supply depot and get yourself out of town. Go to it, Manon. You've got your work cut out for you.
Yeah. Like, it's like they wanted to fit the same amount of text that was on the screen per page in the PS1 version, but just do more pages with a bigger font. Like...
Oh, we didn't get to take our Molotovs with us. Yeah. What a shame.
So see Cyper Cholo say that they think the gun is still a Sten, it's just mangled badly. So, no, that's not what a Sten looks like at all. And it especially
this is
not
more
what
rectangular.
The Sten looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, look how many enemies we can see through the goddamn floor here, who are on the other side of the wall here.
Yeah. Oh, that's what those are. For a second, I thought props had started to show up in this level. Also, look at this. This is an amazing looking floor. Orange tiles on, like, green cement.
Very old-fashioned. And if you go to the refrigerator, if you go to the kitchen here, it's all Jello molds for aspic. It's
But yeah, I specifically also looked at the PlayStation 1 model, and yeah, it doesn't look like this. And none of the guns in the PS1 game look like this.
I mean, we are grabbing the magazine on the side. It is an approximation of a Sten. I think they just had a different 3D library, a 3D asset library that they used internally. Like, I can tell you that shotgun that shows up for the one mission in this game very late in the game, that'll be an episode 2 thing. It is not based off the shotgun in the base game. They just did something else completely. And I think the pistol model here, probably much the same. I think they had their own assets that they drew and digitized, ultimately.
Yeah.
Oh, new enemy type.
Yeah, I'm assuming this pistol is supposed to be the Colt.
Let's look at it. Let's.
Oh, you know what? That's hard to say.
Could be a Luger. It could be anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it somehow looks like both the Wolfer and the Colt if they had a baby, I guess. Like it's. I wonder. You know what? I just realized the gun names are just generic, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I guess this version didn't get the gun right.
I mean,
so
they call this a
generic.
Sten. They called it the Sten in the dossier.
Yeah, but I wonder if that's a mistake, considering it just says machine gun in game, and obviously it doesn't look anything like it. I mean, are you technically using the rights for the gun if you're just calling it the same, but it looks completely different? I don't know.
Also, I don't think
the
manufacturer of the original Sten is still in business to give a shit. I think a lot of, like, most World War II weapons would be well out of, whatever regulation would be well out of.
Yeah. I like that bit in the music.
That's fine, because I don't like anything about this fucking music. You do you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Frank Goffin points out, I hate the green flash when you grab a medkit. Yeah, that's an interesting choice. I imagine at some point they realized, oh, it's impossible to tell when you've picked stuff up because the text pops up for so quick, and this game is just so hard to discern in general. So I guess they did that to indicate to the player. Or it's an unintended bug. Who fucking knows with this game?
Yeah, anything is possibly. This area which existed to house a single enemy, and this ammo pickup. Here we go. And that's obvious. I mean, you definitely see that from a mile away. You can definitely tell that's like a Sten ammo pickup.
That just looks like a silhouette of a children's drawing of a gun. Doesn't look like ammo at all. Oh, little arch there.
So, like, you get where you're in for now. We've basically this is what we're in for the next however many hours it takes to get through this. This is an endurance test. This game more than anything, and a point and laugh as the game continues to break down. I mean, there's also the stealth missions. They do try to retain the stealth missions, so look forward to that, to what stealth amounts to in this game. But yeah, rough. I can tell why Sharky did not want to be around for this one. I'm remembering why they chose to go on break rather than. That is not actually why, but yeah, I've beaten this whole thing. I guess I'm gonna beat it again. I am going to. We're gonna trade after this level. I need a break from this after this. A brief one. Because, yeah, this is the sort of game that, it's perfect for handheld in the sense that, you can only play it for so long. It'd be good for, a bus ride, do a level, and then put it away. It's so disorienting. It is, it's sickening. It is legitimately sickening to look at times. The perspective is so fucked. It is so botched. The amount of times I'm like walking through enemies because there's no real way to gauge how far away they are.
Yeah.
You know, I saw an enemy through the wall there, but now that I'm on the same level as him, I can't actually see him anymore. But I know he's there. I know he's around.
Main dog redeemed say something nice. Oh. A second thing that's... I mean, say what you want. You'll never forget what game you're playing. Because it lets you know at all times.
You know, if you have a short-term memory disorder of some sort, it's perfect. If you are...
not to play, because it's already hard to navigate the levels, but to at least know what you're playing. Eepee!
I did it in sync with the music, too. I'm
What's
nice
that password?
Like
Who knows?
On to victory. Lighting the torch. Page 1. Once the truck is stopped within the walls of the supply depot, it's your job to gather all the information you can regarding the movement of the Africa Corps and pass it on to the American fleet of Operation Torch. First, find the motor pool's dispatch hut and get your hands on their shipping records, or skipping records, who's to say? Next, we've learned that the photographer from a Nazi propaganda magazine in France is visiting the depot. By stealing her identity, you should be able to move about the fort more easily to ensure... I guess that's the right spelling for that. I would use E-N.
Yeah.
She doesn't expose the deception. Find a way to detain her until your mission is complete. Just play your role, Manon. If a soldier approaches you, try to convince him of your identity by aiming the camera and taking his picture. And above all, never reveal that you are carrying a weapon.
Oh, okay. Oof.
Use your new identity to gain access to a radio and contact the American fleet with the location of the supply depot. They will send a plane to pick you up, followed closely by bombers to destroy the depot. Cycle your weapons. Okay, you don't have the camera yet. Oh, and they spawned you with an enemy right behind you. 2, even.
Just getting my buttons.
I would try shooting. I would test to make sure that you can... Okay, there we go.
Do you know what the problem is?
What?
Because I tried that button.
And it was
the input
dropping the inputs.
So I assumed it wasn't mapped.
There is an interesting quirk in this level that well...
And where was I? Oh, okay. Right. On the compass, there is hit indicators.
Hold on, I'm going to briefly play this, just to show off one thing, and also, too...
That is brutal. Start you off with enemies fucking right behind you.
Okay, so we have, you know, a maze of boxes here. Some of them you can circumnavigate around, some of them you can't. I think it's close to the beginning of this level. I think it might be this here. Also, make sure that you're reloading between every encounter, because going into an encounter with less than a full mag is a death sentence.
What's reloading?
Select.
Okay.
Okay, it's not this one. But, I mean, also look at all these multicolored boxes. Look at the colors they're inventing. Look at this.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Kind of beautiful in a way.
An unintentional beauty. Okay. Here is... I think this is it. Please tell me this is it. Perspective and action. I passed through that. Managed to pass through that. Let's try it at an angle. Let's try strafing into it. I'm perfectly lined up with where I exited.
Yeah.
And most of the time, like, you can see me getting caught on it, too. Let's try it from the other side. Yeah, this baffles me. There is something to do with the perspective here that makes it... I can't move. I can't go through this. I can't go through this open thing.
No. Maybe you
Unless
just have a really
I have
wide
to turn at a
hitbox.
very specific angle. That's what I want to show off. It's something
No,
to
not
do...
wide.
You take over. That's...
You got a big booty maybe. So it's like, yeah, facing forwards you could get through. Well, sometimes.
Yeah, it's wildly inconsistent. And it's something to do with the way that's rendered in. It's something to do with how it's calculating the space as you approach it. Or it's just like bad geometry that they implemented. Something bad in this game, perish a thought. But check your side objectives too. Press start. Get records, find camera, radio.
Get records.
Fleet.
Okay. Let's make sure.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, which color is which?
Yep, good question.
Fucking hate when games do this. Okay, I think it's white. Yeah.
Good. Press select, by the way.
Okay, we'll also...
Yep. I would check behind you. I don't know if there's a mission objective, like, over yonder behind that you might miss if you don't go, like, behind those boxes. You gotta be so fucking thorough in this game. No, backwards and to the left. There's something... You're still a corner.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant literal, just... Okay.
Okay, no, but... I wonder if you could strafe into that. I wonder if you can... No, not quite. Okay.
No, probably not. Yeah, you know what? It's weird to say, but when you're playing it, it is, like, so much harder to deal with. Like, the perspective and
too much.
Keeping sense of things.
Ay. Thank you, Blah Hats.
I'm hype.
Thank you for the gift subs. Sorry to anyone and everyone who's watching this right now, who's watching this playthrough. Hopefully, the gift sub will keep you around. Hopefully, that's incentive.
Check your corners.
Now, you know, be
also, I want to
thorough.
test something quick.
Check your corners, but also don't get lost. It's a tall order. It's a lot to ask, I know, but...
Yeah. Kind of surprised, actually. I was expecting a game this rudimentary. Like, when you swap weapons, it would not remember what your ammo count was at, but no, it does. So you can't just...
I'm amazed you actually managed to kill them from a distance. I was about to say that you can't actually hit people from a distance because of the crosshair isn't auto like moving to them. They're not actually in line of sight.
I think for a while I wasn't, but just to be safe, I was like pre-firing and then like walked into range.
I mean, they give you plenty of machine gun ammo. I wouldn't go through that door just yet, or maybe I would. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's got to be something around here. One of the mission objectives.
Oh.
Okay, shipping records are near here. You can count those frames.
Yeah, somehow it got even worse. I guess that's why they don't put props in the levels. Nope.
What are you trying to do?
I just want to make... I'm just making sure... Okay. At one point, this gun looked like it was in that corner. So it looked like there was something in the corner to pick up.
Where's that big red
so now
door?
we're starting to get just straight up holes, like not even glitch lines, like just cuts.
Yeah. Don't go this way. This is backtracking. Now I think there's if you go forward, eventually a door will materialize. Yeah, there's that door there, and I think also check the right, and also there's. It's so easy to lose like corners in this, right? Because of the wonderful textures they've implemented here. Can you go through the door? No. There are enemies behind it, though, apparently. Okay, check that corner there, see if there's anything in this corner. I sincerely doubt it, but... You know, at least we can say we checked. Yeah, so the way forward is going to be to the left from this, as you exit this alley. Left.
So it's because I keep hearing enemies every so often. I'm trying to like hug the walls to kind of use that to
Yes, because they use the same texture for the interior here on the walls in the interior as they do on the exterior from a distance, and even pretty close to this, it just looks like wall. That it's so hard to gauge that there is an actual like frame there that you walk through.
Yeah. I'm trying to play this kind of like those grid-based first-person RPGs. There we go. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I wasn't feeling like the eye strain that bad, but when you're playing it,
When you have to focus
that
on
seems
it.
to make
Yeah.
it worse. Yeah.
Jodariel in chat says, did Cass mention how many people bought this version and how many of them survived? I think I had some speculative numbers in the article that we wrote. So I'll link that and I'll scroll there. I think I had like some best guesstimates. Yeah, I just used VG charts, which is, unreliable. Yeah. Sometimes, their sources are accurate, but they don't never cite their sources. So it's hard to... But they estimate, VG Chart's estimate is 80,000 copies worldwide for this, the Game Boy Advance version. For comparison, the console version sold 970,000 units on PS1. For another point of comparison, the conversion of Doom to the GBA, 140,000. So this was absolutely a sales failure for all parties involved.
Okay. What is this? What is this supposed to be? Just a weird nebulous overhand. Problem is with the visual rendering fucking up, it's hard to tell sometimes like what's intentional and what's
not. You're just making excuses. Sounds like a skill issue to me, Johnny.
Could be, yeah.
Slime in chat says, these are the photographs Chad Kroger would be singing about if Nickelback's music was field recordings of screaming and banging against walls instead of post-grunge. Oh, I think that might be the camera. Or a dog. Or a, could be any number of things.
Oh, there we go.
But if the game tells us it's a camera, I'll take its word for it.
Hey!
Okay, try approaching enemies with this in hand.
Okay, so they will specifically say... Oh! That's fun.
So as long as you have the camera out, you should be fine. If you take a photo while you're like standing next to someone, they might pose for you on occasion.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Let's strike a pose for me.
I think you gotta be like facing them like head on. And be so close to them. Ugh.
I'm trying.
So anyway, the way this works in the PS1 version is that, yeah, you take the camera out, and you're basically, like, no one will bother, that you're basically, like, undercover. And if you switch to a weapon, they obviously all aggro.
I think when they're idle, I don't think they have front sprites. I think they only have this side view. You see, they're, like, kind of turning with me, regardless of what angle. I
mean, this is a great opportunity to just look at the sprites, just to see the fucking sprites here. Also, how is Manon holding this camera? She's using her left hand. This would be a two-handed thing. The cameras at this time were pretty bulky. It's such a weird grip on it. It's just such a weird... Round Spacebug speculates they just cut a hand off one of the gun sprites and pasted it onto the camera. Entirely possible. Yeah, in the PS1 version, eventually some of the guards would be like, hey, you're a photographer, right? You're a reporter? And then you would take a photo of them, and that would appease them. I think in the original Medal of Honor, in the first one, there were some missions where you could like show identification papers to
radio
in that game's like stealth missions. Also, you know, you don't have to play the stealth if you don't want to. You could take your gun out and go guns blazing here.
Do you know what happened there? I did this right, and then I did this, and I thought I was getting shot at. Because it makes a fucking gun sound.
That's why you don't use gun sounds for your fucking menu elements in a first-person shooter, because it's confusing.
And, you know, considering, you know, with the performance and the control, whoa, what the fuck am I looking at? It's very easy to die quick in this in certain situations if you're not prepared for it. Oh. Alright, radio message sent.
Alright, all you gotta do now is escape.
Oh, I see you.
Take this tiny agent with you. You see what they're doing here? They want you to take your gun out for this last second so you can just shoot through these guys. Or you could just do that. That works too. Good job.
Yay! I did good.
Burning Sands. Nice work, Manon. I don't know if her name is Manon, Manon. I'd love a pronunciation on that. I already forgot the pronunciation.
Hey, Manon!
Hi, Maron. Bombers are on the way to Ait Ben... I'm not even going to bother. I can't tell you what characters those are because of the font, and let alone the pronunciation of it. To destroy the depot you've discovered, but we must make sure Rommel's tanks are sufficiently deprived of fuel. There should be an armory somewhere nearby. Find it and procure some explosives. Locating a pass may help you elude the guards in the area of the armory. I think they take the pass out completely in this. So I'm just picking up. I think you use it as like an item that you flash for your identification in the PS1 game, but in this is just a side objective that you pick it up, if anything. We've learned that a cipher key we have not broken is somewhere in the fort. Locate it and use the photographer's camera to get as much information on film as you can. That's it.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
Once you have the bombs, use them to destroy the 4 fuel trucks that are now loaded with gasoline for Africa Corps tanks. Our bombers will take care of the rest of the supplies, but any trucks that are already loaded will surely make a run for it at the first sign of an air raid.
Oh. Got a flash of purple there for a second. It was nice. Just soak it in.
Are you moving? It's hard to tell sometimes in this game. Also, see if you still have your camera by pressing B and cycling. Yep, so you could theoretically continue to play this stealthily. It's your call. Yeah, let's keep the action going, why don't we? If it gets too hard, if it seems like there's too many enemies, you know, we can always have it in the back pocket.
Yeah, I did briefly look up to see what the camera looked like in the PS1 version, and yeah, it's not quite like this.
Try taking a photo of one of these guys up close, see if they will pose for you. Not quite.
No, I could just make a red dot appear on them. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. See, because it's going upwards, the texture's going upwards too.
They tried. They really did try, but it was all for naught. They tried too hard. They tried too hard to cram too much shit in, and that is, you know, the game's cardinal sin, ultimately. I think you're fine. No, keep going the other way. Maybe. Oh, I guess there's 2 objectives here, so I guess go either way.
Oh. I feel like my movement speed, like, just briefly shot up there.
Definitely don't go outside yet. Not until you clear these 2 indoor objectives.
Okay. Don't need those health kits yet. But even this texture, you'd think this one would be fine, but no, even this one you can see doubling up and changing as you get close to it. Okay, so nothing in here.
Yeah, I think you go left and just go the... Okay, here's also another part of the problem, is that you could be procking objectives that are not actually inside this building, but are in adjacent buildings, depending on how the level geometry works here.
There we go.
Oh. Photograph that. Okay, so they do have both objectives here.
Yeah.
Very good.
This is a cipher key, is it? Fair enough.
Take their word for it. Huh?
What?
Oh my god. Okay, so there are enemies that absolutely have a bespoke animation for like taking a photo of them where they raise their gun and they're like, eh. But they forgot to make those sprites for these enemies with the fezzes on, so they just cycle to a fucking pain sprite.
Ah.
As for why they're making sounds like you're like, you know, not supposed to be there, who's the fucking say? They're certainly not shooting you though, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. Let's go for my keep going for my casual stroll. Yeah, I did briefly look up. I was curious, like, okay, what other first-person shooters did Rebellion do at the time? On the off chance that they were like copying, you know, for the guns. So it's like, oh yeah, we made a gun in a different game. We can just like take screenshots of that and use that. But no, I don't think they did, because all the other stuff they were doing was like a Rainbow Six game and a Delta Force game. So like, you know, modern for the time. Ooh.
Yeah, you know, let it be said, you know, in my rebellion-hating ways, that even when they have, like, the benefit of, like, 3 dimensions, when they're making games for proper consoles, they're not much better than this. I mean, it all started with fucking Alien vs. Predator on the Jaguar, which sucks, but it was, like, you know, the one game that Jaguar owners could pretend was good, that they could pretend that they had. And, you know, from there, they only just, they kept putting out shit. They put out, they did the Rainbow Six conversions to PS1, from PC to PS1, which somehow made their way onto the PlayStation Classic despite being very bad conversions. And then, yeah, you have shit like Gunfighter Legend of Jesse James, which is a bad rail shooter, which I didn't even know that was possible. Is that a rail shooter? I'm trying to remember now if it's a rail shooter or not.
Yeah, it's like Time Crisis, but Wild West.
Yep.
So it should be right up your alley.
And there's shit like, you know...
I only ever had a demo for it, so... Like, I liked the demo as a kid, so I can't say I can't get around that way. Okay, I'm kind of worried I've gone too far.
You're looking for the bombs right now,
this...
basically, right?
Yeah.
You're worried that you... I mean, I think you've been doing pretty good about not missing corners. If you want me to, I can take over and I can...
I'm fine for a little bit. Because I think there was a...
alternate path you could have taken way
path
earlier.
Down the stairs, yeah.
Oh, yep. Good call.
Ah, explosive.
Now, you know, realistically, picking up the explosive should proc these guards. You know, like, you know, doing the objective in this area, they're like, hey, you're not supposed to be here, and you're certainly not supposed to be picking up those explosives. Why I oughta? I would check more of that basement just to be sure there's nothing else down there. Like to the left.
Okay. I think to the left is where I came in. Like, that's definitely where I came in.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, because you came in from behind. Either way, you need to go back to that truck, you know, so to blow it up.
Yeah.
We'll just remember that there's a path down there.
No, I swear I came from that way because I remember that staircase. Okay. All right. Don't mind me. No.
Oh, you got there. I wonder if any of these guys will aggro at this point. Now the trucks have started blowing up. Because in the PS1 game, they would absolutely at this point be like, there's a saboteur. Let's fucking interrogate and investigate everyone.
Look at this blown up truck.
Yeah, they just sink it into the ground because, you know, when it comes to like 3D models in the environment, it is harder to swap those out for like, I don't know, like a destroyed model. So they just sink them into the ground slightly. You know, one thing they can never do in this game is move. they can't move these 3D objects across the screen. That would be like impossible for the way that this 3D is implemented. Like there's a mission briefing for one of the upcoming missions where they talk about like, you know, you gotta destroy these tanks, and then they just don't put the tanks into the game because that would have been too hard. That's what happens when you just copy and paste the mission descriptions from the PS1 game into this.
Yeah.
Well, I think those are the last 2 trucks. Again, it's so hard to tell if you're getting closer to them.
Oh, you just put the dynamite right on the top.
Round Spacebug is asking, okay, what's with the short turbo boost hallways? It's moments where the frame rate is improved because there's less, because it's updating less pixels on the screen. So you get like a perceived speed boost.
Yeah.
It is working less hard to render.
Oh, that was very average. Weird. I guess because we didn't really take out enemies, even though we didn't get hit once.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It obviously does not matter, the rankings in this.
Yeah.
Ally in the desert. Your mission is accomplished, but your cover was definitely blown. Your challenge now is to escape before the bombers arrive. We've sent one of our best pilots to pick you up, but he cannot land until you have cleared the area. Remember, this is a base for the Africa Corps, so there are still sure to be tanks around the fort. Here we go. I mentioned it, and it manifests. Use the terrain to your advantage. Stay out of the open. Even without an anti-tank weapon, a determined soldier can destroy a panzer with superior tactics. This would be like, you know, you gotta use grenades and other explosives and stuff. There are 3 anti-aircraft emplacements around the airfield that need to be disabled so our plane may land safely. Toss a grenade inside the emplacement, and the gun's own ammunition should take care of the rest. Once the guns are disabled, signal the pilot by turning on the landing lights. The controls for these lights will be in the control tower. Once you've turned on the lights, move on to the airfield as quickly as you can to board the plane. Oh, and enjoy the ride.
I always gotta see where we came from.
You know, the wall. It came from the stones.
Yep. Oh, it's the wall, brother.
Just check to see you don't have the camera anymore, just for...
Oh.
Yeah, okay, cool. And they're giving you pipe bombs now instead of the Molotovs.
Oh, yeah, the old potato mashers.
Yep. It's a bright, sunshiny day. The frame rate is low.
Right, we'll go this way first.
I think there's going to be a bunch of enemies this way. Something tells me. Now, is that just me memorizing this game? Do I just know this game like the back of my hand? Or do I have a secret? I would be worried about going this way first. I would check that upper corner. Just knowing this game and its tendency to punish you for not being completely thorough.
Hang on.
Yeah, going up the stairs harder than going down them.
Yeah.
You could try speed
of all the
strafing.
things
I don't
they-
know if it actually confers a speed benefit, but
Of all the things they include in cut in this, I feel like the voice lines, obviously it's not, they're very short little barks, but I feel like you could have...
okay, well,
No.
I wasted your time. Sorry about that,
I
but
feel like... No, it's due diligence. But yeah, I feel like they could have saved some memory just not having the enemies.
have the sampled speech. And yeah, you know, freeing up that, you know, those precious kilobytes. Maybe they could have finished drawing the fucking sten in with that. Maybe
God,
they could have
weird.
afforded a few more pixels.
I know what it was, but going towards that wall, it was like I was in VR again. just the way somehow this 2D image became 3D suddenly.
Definitely strafe while shooting.
Yeah, I'm trying to move a bit. I don't know what they're saying. I keep thinking they're saying, "Oh, that's good."
You know, they may be getting mowed down by you, but your technique is impeccable.
God, it is just you have wall hacks. That's all it is.
It's like Blacklight Retribution all over again. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Why did I take so much damage there? Oh.
Don't worry. That's an enemy that's at a complete different point in the level. You're not actually able to hit him.
Yeah. I see what it is. When you get really close to a wall, it speeds up. And that's why it's like freaking me out.
Less pixels.
The game speed like briefly changes.
Yep, that's a turbo
really
speed that's been mentioned. Yeah, that I was trying to address.
Oh, fuck! There was another enemy there. Hello.
Guten Tag. That's the enemy you saw on the top of the wall.
Yeah. Oh, because this wall, you know, got built while I was going around the corner.
He was getting Casket of Amontillado. We actually put him out of his misery. It's
like, oh god, I feel like couldn't they have like saved performance by just filling this wall out? So
yes, they could have. They theoretically could have.
Oh, it wasn't like that.
There's a lot of things they could have done, Johnny. There's a lot of things they could have done to improve this. They didn't. Because it's fucking rebellion. Someone did mention, when I was shitting on Alien vs. Predator, someone in chat did have a counterpoint. Okay, Round Space Bug, who said, I think AVP on the Jag is alright with the cool human campaign that has some Metroidvania elements. Yeah, what about the Alien campaign? What about the Predator campaign? And also that human campaign also sucks, but I'm also, you know, very opinionated. And also Rebellion developments are my mortal enemy. And I am living long enough to see them collapse and fall apart as a company. Oh no, Johnny.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's my turn then.
Yeah. I took my meds anyway, so
Give you a bit of a break. Ben's in chat says this is a thing of beauty. It certainly is. This is the finest first-person shooter the Game Boy Advance could facilitate. Never mind the other first-person shooters on the Game Boy Advance that look better than this, and run better, and play better.
I also see Round Park Space go, you took damage? Yeah, it's not easy to tell. Because you have to be watching that bottom corner, which is not where any of the action is.
But it does remind you what game you're playing. It is a nice time to, like, you know, to check in and be like, what am I playing at? Okay, that's right, this is Medal of Honor Underground for the Game Boy Advance, okay? Was there health upstairs in one of these rooms? I would love health. Health would be so handy.
I don't think so. I think, yeah, just enemies dropping it.
Ugh. I might as well, for thoroughness' sake. You know, we gotta get our mission ranking up. You know, average isn't good enough for me. Ugh. I mean, our commentary could just be ugh. It could just be us doing different takes on ugh for the next hour and a half, however much longer we play this tonight. We're gonna play the multiplayer tonight too. We're gonna, you know, remind me at around like 2:30 or not 2 hours 30 minutes into the show to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they're just really sparing with health on this level.
Oh well, I guess I didn't have to use a grenade
that's what
after
that
all.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jodariel says Stone Age commentary. We're gonna regress without Sharky around to keep us accountable. We're just
Unga Bunga arc.
For the next 2 months, it's just gonna be a lot of me, Cass, you, Johnny. Play game. Game bad. Game not good. Me go ugh.
Yeah.
Can't walk off. There's no walls or fences here, but there are invisible walls. Is that an enemy?
Yeah.
Can you tell from a distance? Mutant
Yeah.
1998 asks, or 1988, sorry, to get the year wrong on that. My eyes are a little fucked after playing Medal of Honor Underground for the Game Boy Advance. You'll have to forgive me. Ask, what can you even say about this game? Yeah, no, this straight up, this one's an endurance run. This one is a test of our patience, and then the audience's patience as well. Some games there's lots to comment on design-wise. Some you basically get the idea. Now, can you stick through it with us? Will you last? Will you survive? Will we survive?
Slime Generator saying, here's what Spider-Man would look like on the Game Boy Color.
I remember I generated a few like joke posts, a few shit posts using that IGN video as a template. I had a video template built for making just pixelized videos that I could post that like phrasing with. Had a good time with it. Okay. I'm trying to use the grenades because this is what they suggested we use.
Hey!
Took 4 grenades. I don't even know how many of those actually landed. It's hard to tell. Because, again, the trajectory on your tossed weapons in this is a curious thing. Kudos for playing the game for more than 30 seconds, says Mutant. Oh, we're playing the whole thing. We're doing the whole damn thing, even if we have to do it across 2 nights. Because this game also goes on for a long time. It also has a lot of missions in it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm actually hitting that guy. I think this is a trap.
No.
I will
You
rewind.
don't seem to lock... Yeah, for some reason from the front there, you weren't locked onto them.
I think the chest-high wall was their saving grace for a minute there.
Yeah.
Ooh, delayed input that time. That made me shoot a wall by accident. And it's on. You know, okay. Someone gotta say something nice. If you want to hear me say something nice, you gotta redeem it, say something nice. That's the rule. I'm learning my lesson to not waste them.
Yeah, 9A saying where they downgrade the graphics to fit more levels in the cards, but they couldn't fit all the levels.
Okay, say something nice, as well as a ring sting. You know, it's good that they attempted to include all the side objectives, all of the side missions that you have to do. I mean, they could have just made these levels A to B. They could have had like basically nothing along the way. They could have just gone as basic as possible. The fact that you're flipping switches and picking up dossiers, and that's it. I mean, that's what all the side objectives boil down to, is variations on pressing A to interact with an object, and then picking up certain objects. But, you know, having that, you know, it's the illusion of depth, right? And that's something. Also, notice, not a single tank encountered, despite the prescient briefing that, just to prove my point from earlier. Mission 3, Undercover in Crete. Actually, I'm slightly embarrassed now, because I know Ben in chat speaks French, so now they're going to judge me for my pronunciations here. I'll bring out the full-on accent, too, just to really sell this. Him. It's good to see you back from North Africa in one piece. There's no time to waste, as we have a tricky new assignment for you. I don't even think this is actually a French briefing. Now that I think about it, I think we're still working for the OSS. I think we're working for the Americans now, or the British. I don't think these are actually... Oh, well. Won't Stop Me is part of the continuing mission to legitimize their bloodthirsty conquest. The Nazis have announced a major archaeological excavation on Crete. Unfortunately for the priceless architecture and relics, the Germans are defacing, not digging. Looking for that Spear of Destiny again. Although the Third Reich only dates back a decade, the Nazis are trying to establish their pedigree as one that stretches back to antiquity. This is a classic thing about the Nazis. No, this is real. This is real as fuck. I mean, like,
yes.
you know, the Nazi obsession
they also
with the
failed
occult.
at this.
Yeah, miserably. Employing phony archaeologists with forged credentials, the Germans are planting evidence, doctoring reports, and even going so far as to carve swastikas into the walls of these ancient ruins. Normally, this pathetic propaganda effort would not be worth our attention, but the dig is also serving as a cover for the installation of a massive artillery battery. Now, notice how there's some text behind the text on the screen here? That there is supposed to be an indication, so you just lose that completely.
I have to take your word for it. I can tell that's probably what's going on, but I would not have clocked that.
It's text on top of text on top of an image. A massive artillery battery that, if allowed to become operational, would bring Allied shipping to a halt in the region. We cannot allow that to happen, especially at this crucial stage of the war. These guns are heavily fortified within the excavated sublevels. Since it worked well in Casablanca, you'll be undercover again as a foreign correspondent armed with a camera. Your mission is to infiltrate the dig and prevent further molestation of it, then locate the big guns and carefully take them out of commission. You'll travel to, and it's great that these images are all in grayscale too. Can I just say it's great that, you know, some of these images are in black and white, so you basically have like white on white. It's just incredible. You'll travel to Crete aboard a stolen Italian trawler, be at the dock by 0800 hours tomorrow morning. Bon voyage. Exceptional work in Africa. After baking on that hot desert sand, I trust you're going to enjoy the locale of your next mission. I only wish it was under better circumstances. Your destination is the island of Crete. Some coastally embedded cannons have sunk many a ship in the region, and I'm sorry to say we aren't able to offer you many leads as to their location. We can at least, however, get you started. We've bought off the captain of a small fishing vessel, and he's agreed to transport you to the port town of Iraklion. Or Iralion, who's to say? Since this port is occupied, we believe it to be a likely place to find a paper trail leading to the secret artillery installation. Discreetly make your way through town and uncover that base. Oh, there's one more thing. Rumor has it the Germans have been trying to form an alliance with a band of outlaw privateers, but both sides have been unpleased with each other. It's possible that open fighting may break out between the two factions. If so, keep clear of the crossfire, and if you're lucky, the problem will take care of itself. Again, referencing things that happened in the PS1 game, I don't believe there is infighting in this game between factions. I believe they gut these characters completely. If they are in here, I will be surprised. I will point it out. I will give the game credit if they in fact do that. Oh, 2 directions. The game spoils us. Luckily, this one's a dead end. Do we have
Do
our
you still
camera
have the camera?
Yeah, we
Yep.
do.
It starts you off with a machine gun, though. Which I assume is just because it's the gun we finished the last level with.
I collected the photo pass. Let's see if these guys will pose for photos. I think it's the guys in blue who do.
Okay, they seem... Oh,
Was he even
maybe
real
their
at all?
sprite like slightly turns.
And just to show what happens if we switch weapons. Okay, there we go. Delayed reaction on his part, but...
Yeah. Also, I feel like you took damage before he was actually facing you. But, you know, it's hard to say what facing you looks like. So...
Okay, they did not hear the gunfire in this adjacent
Going through that
room.
corridor looked like you, like, went into a painting.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Yeah.
Halt? Nah. Also, something you may have noticed is that because, you know, the trickery here, that if you drop, as I drop there, you know, I thought maybe if I was like, you know, quick about it, I could jump on top of these crates and really fuck things up. But no, it just drops you directly to the floor because there's no, like, gravity model here. There's no, the height is an illusion. And not a very convincing one at that either, so...
Which again is weird, because it's not an illusion in Doom. There's even some misconception about that like, Doom, original Doom, is technically not in 3D because of the way its rendering works. But no, like, it's you know, gameplay is being calculated in 3D space. It's just that to save, like, on, calculations, like, a lot of things in that game just have, like, infinite height.
Yeah.
That's why you can't... That's why, like, enemies, you can bump into them if they're, like, below you.
I swear this guy had an animation.
Why do they have so many holes in their sprites? It seems to be them in particular that suffers from it.
I think it's just gray. I think those are gray pixels, but because we're up against a gray wall.
No.
Yeah, yeah, because you would see the yellow, yeah. Oh, it is just a pain sprite!
Yep.
It is...
Okay.
Oh my god, okay. Yep, that's a pain sprite for him too. So every time you photograph someone, it just shows them bleeding. Awesome.
It's
Talk about suffering for your art.
It's funny as well. When I'm thinking back to the white enemies, though, when I was taking the photos, it's funny to think that they even have a sprite for blood coming out, because when are you ever getting that close to the enemy sprites to shoot at them in this game?
Here with the camera. That's it, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm lost. I am absolutely... Which way did we come from? Did we go up the stairs? Did we... I think we did. I think we came from there, went up the stairs. So now if I take this...
Oh yeah, this is quite a complicated layout.
Too complicated. That's what happens when you do base it off the level geometry of a fully 3D game for the PS1, but then ultimately have to like compromise on things like, you know, actual like height variance and you basically like flatten them.
Yeah, I don't remember if we looked at it. But I'm also reminded of 007 Nightfire's Game Boy Advance version.
We did in one of the 3D GBA episodes. It's impressive, that one. It's not particularly fun, but it definitely does a better job than this.
Yeah, and it is doing the same idea of running in a 3D engine, recreating the level, you know, the layouts at least of the levels that it includes. That was a year after this, to be fair.
They forgot to texture the surface.
Probably for the best.
Yeah, probably for the best. You know, best frame rate we've had in like minutes. So it's. And
yeah, as Mutant 98 points out, like obviously the texture warping and weirdness fucks with the navigation as well. Yeah, it's like there's times where you're looking at the image and you just can't tell if you're looking at doorways and entrances. Okay, yeah, I see why I thought those enemies just had holes in their sprites now. It is just when they're on top of certain textures, it just looks like that.
It's all shades of gray. Oh, wait, this is just link up. Okay, yeah, got it. Both lead to the same place. I got so bored of just walking around and not engaging with the enemies. I gotta shoot Nazis. I think there might be an enemy inside of this building here. I'll bet you $50. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
There we go. The Mouth of Madness. Here it is. Oh, it has to stay. I don't know what this is. Why is this red?
Well, yeah.
What is the red supposed to be? Is it supposed to be blood? Paint?
Okay, this makes me also think that some of these textures were drawn and then compressed to Game Boy Advance color palette. Because that's what that looks like to me. Is that as they've done the color compression, it's run into an issue where that color doesn't exist. So it's just gone to the approximate, like, closest color, which was red.
Yeah, entirely possible. You know, it is
like a very nerdy Doom video by Decino that goes into how that color palette works.
We need the decompilation of this version of Medal of Honor Underground. we need someone to figure out leak the source code, recompile it from there. All right, we found the end of the level, but we still have an objective to do. I think it might be, hopefully, just over here, and not something we missed earlier.
There's a health kit. God, yeah, there's times where I think you're at higher health than it turns out you are, just because reading the meter is so weird.
There we go. Now that should be all the objectives. And...
Oh, the fucking... I know what they're called, but like the orchestral like toms they're trying to do in this part of the song does not work.
As opposed to the rest of the soundtrack, which has been stellar. As opposed to the rest of the instrumentation, which is just nailing it. In comparison. What lies at Knossos? Terrific work, Manon. That supply schedule revealed an unusually large amount of munitions being diverted to, of all places, an archaeological dig. Given what we have, this is our best lead yet. The time to strike is now. We've heard that troops have been diverted from this location to restore order in Heraklion, allowing us an excellent opportunity to determine if this dig is indeed a cover for an artillery emplacements. To do this, you'll be reprising your role as a home front propaganda photographer. Great, we can just skip the gameplay in this level. Cool. Using your newly acquired credentials, make your way through the Palace of Knossos under the guise you're interested in their work, while keeping a sharp eye out for hidden artillery.
Hidden.
We don't expect
Looks
you'll
like
have...
hidden to me.
Just kidding around. We don't expect you'll have much trouble with the guards posted there, as they're most likely bored out of their minds, but remain cautious nonetheless. As you search the ruins, locate and eliminate the archaeologists, though their research is baseless, it seems a terrible injustice to allow them to deface history in the name of the Reich. Oh, and if the opportunity presents itself, recover some of the relics they're creating up to send home. Good luck. Notice how there wasn't the infighting in the previous level, by the way. And now...
Oh, yeah.
Place a bet. Will there be I can't believe I can't pronounce archaeologists. Will there be archaeologists for us to kill in this mission?
I'll have to see. This is old secondhand information, but my understanding is because, you know, a lot... Okay, it does also get romanticized in some sense, but I want to say just like the history and, you know, their interest in the occult stuff, that gets definitely flanderized in a lot of historical takes and things like that. That is a beautiful...
This wall texture in particular
Yeah.
is...
What is... I wonder what... Okay, yeah, they must have used... They did not build textures for this color palette.
Okay,
Oh, there we go.
Archaeologist. Yep.
Hey, look at that. Oh, look, I even see his pickaxe.
So you do have to switch. You do have to kill them, so that means you do have to break stealth.
Yeah.
Do that. I'm gonna go backwards.
But yeah, like, you know, they weren't as widespread into it. Apparently it was mainly like one guy high up who also was into this whole like finding you know, the evidence that like the whole lineage, you know, the whole like, oh yeah, the Iron Race goes back to these like ancient warrior things. And apparently he was not very popular because all his research was proving his theory wrong. So like, just stop doing this. It's not helping anyone. If there's any question about it, no. Nazis were not very effective or good at anything, really. They just took people by surprise.
You know, blame the world. Blame everyone for being taken by surprise by them doing exactly what they said they would do. It's concomitant in the fact that, you know, the world was underprepared, even though, you know, the Nazis straight up said what they were going to do, and then people just let it happen because it wasn't them that was, like, you know,
unfortunately, we know from modern examples that telling people exactly what you're going to do does not stop people from, you know, the old Nazi, what's it? Leopard face eating party that you vote for. Oh, that's what that is.
You know, Mutant points out that they were pioneers in methamphetamines. That's true.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of drugs use going on high up there.
All their pilots were just fucking on cocaine so they could run like nighttime missions.
Yeah, no, I just mentioned because again, there's a lot of weird revisionist about the idea that like, oh, you know, so you won, but they were the, you know, great industrialists and
they almost won.
It's like no, that's not accurate at all. They're older videos now, but Quinlan Reviews did videos on like how the History Channel devolved, and one of them in particular covers their weird Nazi documentaries and the weirdos they had on there that were clearly like into it way too much. Like,
oh, I almost went through this fucking...
Oh.
Yep.
I got so confused because you were just popping up and down.
You know, I also...
Yeah, you somehow like skipped the stairs sometime there.
I know I need to backtrack because there was like an alternate passage that I could have gone down like towards the beginning of the level, and I'm deathly afraid of losing. you know, or not losing, but just like, you know, losing time, I guess, by having to backtrack later in the level. So I'm just like, let's take care of it now. Oh my god, that might be the worst frame rate yet. Yeah, when I was in college and taking a lot of like history courses, I was doing some extracurricular reading back when I read, back when I was less of a stooge, but also more of a stooge in some ways. Anyway, I bought a book that was just called Nazis and the Occult, and it was just about the entire like history of the Nazis' obsession with shit like the Spear of Destiny and whatnot. And, you know, like the attempts to legitimize themselves into just like the beliefs that they could like find like ancient science that would somehow enable them to, you know, reach the stars, and, you know, the magical thinking that they employed in their attempts to like get one up on the rest of the world in the world war that they fought. I don't know if you know this, but they fought a war against the world twice.
Yeah.
I went and I got in a dossier back there, by the way, so it was a good thing that we went back when we did.
There's beautiful music again from level 1.
It's so nice we got to hear it twice.
God, I'm trying to figure out what the ceiling texture is supposed to be.
Well, dirt.
I guess because, yeah, dirt, because it's supposed to be like archaeology, but then there's all bricks everywhere.
You know, they're paving as they go.
It's my Minecraft house where I used dirt for the ceiling.
Hold on. Now that I know where we are, I'm using that as my signpost.
Yeah.
I got stuck for a second because it did put me on top of it, and then it put me into the ceiling. Let's see if I can replicate that. I can't do it from this side. I can do it from here.
Yeah.
Oh, fell
You're
off.
able to. Yeah, you're able to pop up there. And yeah, we've had a few comments by how Windows 95 screensaver ass this game is at times.
That's a disservice to 3D Maze on Windows 95. Can I say that when I was doing the writing, badgamehallofame.com, check out our articles, and I was doing the April Fools.
Oh, there's someone behind you, I think.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, you're still locked onto him, though.
We haven't rewound yet in this playthrough, or at least not egregiously. That's the most I've been tempted to do it. You know, it's a mission where we could just be using the camera, and we would be able to skip half these fights. Maybe I guess I'll do that. I guess they do make this mission slightly harder.
Yeah, I'm headful mention in the documentary to try to claim a photo of Mo Howard from the Three Stooges was actually Hitler in his later years. Yeah.
Oof. I think it's this way first, and then double back to that room. Or no, is it the other way around? I see the archaeologist here.
Hello.
With any luck, this is a dead end, so I can just double back immediately.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's sad to say, but I'm probably gonna have to load up those physical copies just to double check how specific levels looked on that, just to make sure, like, if these textures, especially if some stuff is fixed in that PAL release.
You know, bright side for you is that you can totally skip around using the passwords.
Yeah.
Why didn't I just rewind? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? I could have just rewound. What am I trying to prove here? It's...
You know what? Do me a favor, actually. Do rewind for a little bit. I want you to pay attention to where the cursor is here.
Yeah, no. These, the hitboxes for these crates. Because the way that when you blow objects up in this game, it puts them under the geometry, and because everything is infinitely tall, yeah, it's just, it has the sequence wrong on that, basically. Same thing for this one, yeah.
And even the explosion effects can't apply in the right place.
I know I'm neurotic, but like I gotta go back again. because I swear,
Yeah.
like, I need to go down that other hallway, and this is the way that we progress, and it's just, it's bad. It's really bad. It needed an auto map. I know that wasn't a feature in the original game, but this version of the game needed a fucking auto map.
Yeah. I just reminded myself, it's a homebrew thing, but I reminded myself that someone made a demo for converting the original Tomb Raider to Game Boy Advance, and they did like the first level. And you want to see what the Game Boy Advance can actually do in a 3D engine. It is like, yeah, night and day to this. It's like, yeah, no, if you code it right, you can actually do amazing things on a system that really wasn't built for 3D, but a lot of devs did it for some reason. As our
I mean, it was definitely like a
GBA
flex.
series showed, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely, you know, like for developers, it was a flex to be able to do it. And, you know, in the case of Rebellion, you know, this is probably how they got the contract for this game, is by saying, like, let us convert your game. We can do it in 3D. We can bring 3D to the GBA. You see these other games, there are other 3D GBA games to use as an example. We'll do one of those for you, and you can market it as, you know, being, like, technically impressive, and we'll deliver it on time and under budget. It's just, you know, that's obviously the real key of all their pitches, the real secret behind everything they ever pitched. And, you know, think about this game in screenshot form.
I was thinking about that. I'm really curious what to see pre-release screenshots look like. Like if they ever sent...
If they were all just mock-ups, if they were all
yeah.
just, like, bullshots, yeah. I know that Nintendo Magazine UK article I read had a screenshot that looked pretty similar, despite, you know, being months earlier than the release of the game. So I think they were at least, like, you know, I mean, it would have been, you know, if it was reviewed by the outlet, I guess, you know, they would have captured that themselves, right? Now, there's two paths here. There's this one that goes up. Then there's the one to the right here. I think there's also one in the previous room that I need to check real quick. This is where, like, you know, look how many objectives we have. Right? This is where it's getting trickier, to be sure. And you know,
some of these levels get sizable as well. And they didn't do what a lot of conversions and like ports will do sometimes, of like breaking levels up.
Would have been a dream.
Yeah, that probably would have helped. You know, because yeah, it wouldn't be a say something nice, but I can tell that this game has, like, you don't really have pop-in in terms of the draw distance. Like, there's not too many areas where the draw distance goes really far. But compared to the PlayStation 1 version, like, you don't have the, you know, like the black darkness to render stuff in over time.
Yeah, but they fucking should have. Yeah.
Yeah, probably should have had it. Again, it's a weird back and forth with a lot of the things you say about this game, where it's like, wow, it does this. Wow, it shouldn't do this.
It's like, you know, it's a technological achievement that, you know, is also like a horrible abuse of science. It's a horrible idea executed on very badly, but, you know, it's innovative. It is impressive how bad this is.
Yeah. I'm going to count that for our Say Something Nice redeem we just got.
The steps. I should take the camera out again.
And yeah, not simplifying steps. Well, okay, you wouldn't have done slopes, actually. That probably would have been harder than anything else. If this whatever engine this is works kind of like how Doom does, then you wouldn't have done slopes, I don't think.
Okay, I gotta switch to my weapon again. So I can take care of these crates.
I'm still trying to figure out what's up with the the green flash for the health. I can only think that they thought they needed to indicate to the player something, but
hold
supplies.
on. I'm gonna
7
rewind.
destroyed.
I swear there was a guy in the smoke. I saw a ghost.
Oh no, haunted copy.
Every copy of Medal of Honor Underground is personalized.
God, imagine if that PAL one, a copy I have, is somehow the only version with the fixed graphics.
Just for Johnny.
Jodrio in chat just found out Rebellion made Never Dead. Hell yeah.
To the realms of the never dead.
Yeah, that's... Like, say what you want about Rebellion, but they do have a very varied output over the years.
Eclectic,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I will... Oh. You know this, Cass, but I've been messing with VR stuff, and I've been messing with Sniper Elite VR. I found out, though, Rebellion didn't actually make that one.
Oh,
They
so
only
there's a
published
chance
it.
it's good then. Okay. Cool.
That's pretty... Yeah, I've enjoyed what I played so far, so... Yeah, just find exit now. Which we did see it earlier, the blue...
We did, yeah.
Little tick.
I was just,
Yeah.
I had to go back for that last objective, for that last relic and last
Yeah.
archaeologist, so...
But yeah, no. Sniper Elite Mayar is done by Just Add Water, which is the... done a bunch of Oddworld games, funny enough.
Mission 4. Willisburg. Dark Camelot. You've been on some tough assignments, Manon, but this time we're sending you to a rather dark place. This, of course, is Heinrich Himmler, Reichsfuhrer of the SS, one of the most pitiful excuses for a human being that you'll ever encounter. Did you know he was a fertilizer salesman before the war? The quality of his current product isn't much different. He spent the last few years trying to sell Hitler on the creation of an official SS nation-state within Germany, establishing a royal class among the master race. Unfortunately, Himmler and the SS seem to be getting their way. The influence of this criminal organization has continued to grow as the war has gone on, to the point that they already have in many trappings of an autonomous republic, including their own economy, political system, even their own army, the Waffen-SS. And now, it seems, their own capital. This is Willisburg. It's a castle in the Patagon region that Himmler has slowly been converting into his personal palace over the last couple of years. Since the SS has so much power and is responsible for so much within the Third Reich, we've decided to send you inside Veppelsburg.
Oh, it was a V.
It was a V the whole time? Are you fucking kidding me? To find out exactly what is going on in there. Steal whatever documents you can. They'll inform us of their current activities. These would be the castle missions in the PS1 game, and there are like knights in armor that you fight in that game that fight you with swords. Like suits of armor that you fight against. I wonder if they have it in this game, I say, knowingly.
Oh.
Be extremely careful, Manon. Manon, we're not sure what you're going to encounter, except that it's most likely going to be bad. I think I used that as one of the headers for the article.
Yeah.
We're not sure exactly what you're going to encounter, except that's most likely going to be bad.
Yeah. Prolific.
As you've been briefed, Manon, this mission is not run-of-the-mill. To reach the castle, you're going to have to eliminate the German forces and commandeer a cable car up the mountain. To do this, you'll need to find some tools to disable the controls in the station. Otherwise, the car might be called back to the station before you've reached your destination. This is also just, the Clint Eastwood movie, fucking Where Eagles Dare. Banger movie. Fucking awesome movie. One of the best World War II movies ever. Watch it, folks. Follow the train tracks. They will take you to a road that leads to the cable car station and a radio building. There's no punctuation there throughout the period. The SS are everywhere and will quickly warn the castle if they smell any sign of trouble. Also, we've heard that the Germans have just developed a new submachine gun. Keep your eyes open for any information on this weapon. Be careful and good luck.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll be getting that. Yeah, Jerry also asked if the Never Dead is a Hall of Fame worthy game. Even if it's not the worst of like that era, it's just such a weird oddity.
And it's our excuse to do Dave Mustaine voice for an entire stream.
Yeah.
Because he does the theme song.
Yeah. Like when you write that game out on paper, it sounds fake. Like it's by Konami, developed by Rebellion, but then they made like an action game where you fall apart, and then they got Mega Def to do a song for it. It's just like, it sounds like picking random game ideas out of, like Mad Lib.
Game Developer Ad Libs Edition, yeah.
Yeah.
Every year for its birthday, because we celebrate its birthday on for the Bad Game birthday on Twitter and Blue Sky and whatnot, I just use the GIF from the Konami press event at E3 or whatever, where they're debuting that game, and it's the guy who comes out on stage and he's wearing an auspicious trench coat and he pretends that his head falls off when he gets slapped on the back. I just use an animated GIF of that rather than any gameplay footage of the game.
Yeah. I find that guy interesting because he's also the guy who did like half the presentation for that Connect game with Naoki.
Yes.
So I think he's like a translator who works for Konami, who is also just like, hey, check this out, I can do this trick. See, this shit like that is why I miss the live game presentation kind of stuff of E3. I always lament its loss. It might have sucked, but that's why I miss it.
Yeah, I get that, but it's fine in highlight form. Leave the memories alone, and you will never pay me to fucking watch live games press events ever in my life. Oh God, have we reached new lows of the frame rate here?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Oh, it's because they got this complex architecture that has columns.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have tried. They should have tried less hard.
Mm-hmm. I'm noticing something as well, by the way, that some of the enemy sprites are 3D models that they've then, converted into sprite form. But the blue-red ones, like the recolored ones, I think those were more drawn. They look completely different art style to the rest. God, yeah, we are at like sub 4 in some of these areas now.
Seconds per frame. Imagine a back of the box for like some really unoptimized PC game that just tries to get one over on the consumers by saying 120 seconds per frame. And they're like, wow, 120 frames per second in this economy? Oh.
The closest I can think to that is 3DO Doom having its like 3 levels of speed.
And then the fourth one hidden behind a code that they intended if the M2 ever came out. Read our article on Doom 3DO, people. BadGameHealthy.com/Doom-3DO. Watch our interview with Burger Becky, with Rebecca Ann Heineman, R.I.P. Rebecca Ann Heineman, etc., etc., etc.
I should explain that. What does 3 levels of speed mean? It means that you could change the screen size to change what frame rate the game ran at. That's what 3 levels of speed meant.
Yeah.
It was, do you want this to run bad, or
do you want to be able to see what you're doing?
But in a postage stamp, yeah.
Which, I mean, that's also how, like, to be clear, that DOS Doom had a screen size feature for that exact same reason, where you would shrink the gameplay if you had a system that was not up to the task of... Mutant 1988 asks, was 3DO Doom the one that one guy ported? It was one lady. Her name was Rebecca Ann Heineman. Yep. She was a legendary developer of conversions, as well as founder of Interplay. And she was a friend of ours. Take a look at this wall. Isn't this sick?
God, I'm looking at it and I still can't pass what's supposed to be happening there.
It's just bad. It's misaligned geometry is what it is. It's just not meant to be. And you're all good, Mutant. I mean, if you don't know, you don't know. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it's just... I like shouting out Burger Becky every chance I get, because she was cool as fuck. She was cool as fuck to us. And yeah, that job, she gave us an interview about it and went into all the details, and one of the most prolific shit talkers. If you think I'm a good shit talker, if you think I'm good at talking shit, talking mess, oh, she was the queen. She was the best. Okay. think we're making progress if we go this way.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other side of that wall, by the way. Look how there's a
Ooh.
giant building here, right?
Yeah, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Took me a second there. Yeah, do you know I bet it is? Imagine it's backface culling that they didn't expect. Who knows? But it's definitely backface culling where it's only rendered on one side, which is smart.
But I think they forgot that there's supposed to be a building here. 'Cause what is this wall? You know, I'm gonna give myself the rewind there because I was fixated on the environment. I was fixated on something that.
What? I don't even see him.
He was there though. Yeah, I just wanted to, you know, because the one side is grass, this side is stone wall. It's not like a building here or anything. I think they just forgot.
Yeah.
I think they forgot what they were rendering, and did not bother to check.
Yeah. It's also interesting to see, like, sometimes at certain angles, the, like, you know, texture perspective on the walls does work. So it's not always, like, you know, like doubling and shrinking. But there are some times where it does work right. Again, no one ever would, and no one probably should, because I imagine it would be a tremendous waste of time. But if someone did figure out, like, what exactly is going on with the code,
Reverse engineered it.
Handle this,
Got to the bottom of it. I mean, I'd be fascinated. I would absolutely be fascinated. Way better uses of our time as human beings, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like I've definitely burned my bridges with any Rebellion people at this point for having, like, you know, gone so hard on them. There was the one guy who told me that the script to Rogue Warrior was, like, literally a first draft, and that was fun to learn, but I think I've burned any other person who might. To be clear, you know, if I can, you know, drop the veil of the Rebellion developments or my mortal enemy bit for a second, you know, I don't hold it against the staffers. I hold it against the hierarchy of the company. I hold it against those two fucking doofus brothers running the company who turned into, like, a fucking fly-by-night rookery, who turned, you know, game development into just, like, the most cynical fucking product imaginable, and probably, like, fucking underpay their staff and just went on a fucking acquisition spree that ate up every, like, good studio in Europe at a certain point. That's where fucking core design went to die, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting swallowed up by fucking Rebellion. And you know, like, it sucks, and they suck, and their games suck, but, like, you know, at the same time, do I hold, like, the programmer of this game personally responsible? Only so far, insofar as that, you know, they said they could, and this is what they submitted. They probably, like, you know, when asked, could you make this work, they probably should have just said no, right? You know, there's an ambition here, but it's, you know, poorly realized. And I think, you know, this is probably like is this a top-down issue? We'll never know until someone, like, I can't get through the storm.
Yeah. Of course.
To get the fucking health.
I mean, look, if anyone wants to do the tell-all and go into details, we'd be more than eager to find out.
We're not getting that health. I can't.
Yeah. But, you know, like, definitely the thing I've learned and known for a long time is, like, it's the idea that if a game's, like, turning out bad, that the people, you know, like the ground floor developers don't know. Like, no, they know. It's usually people high up who are, like, deluded or in denial about things, who are like oh no, it'll come together, don't worry about it.
Oh, and those brothers, by the way, who run Rebellion, fucking delusional. Just to be clear. I won't mince words with those motherfuckers. Okay,
yeah,
wait, on.
Like,
What was the password? I forgot to read the password at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Covert.
Covert. That was a U.
This would be inside the castle. We're coming up on 3 hours, though. We're on the 2 hour, 30-minute mark.
Yeah, we're right at it, yeah.
So what I want to do is save state here.
Yep.
We can also just, you know, resume with a password. Either way will work. I'll read this mission description next time. We'll get to this mission next time. What I want to do right now is quit the game, return to base, And let's play some fucking multiplayer. let's see what the multiplayer looks
Yeah.
like in this game. Now, I'm actually going to have to change the emulator real quick. I'm going to close out of that and open up MGBA at this point. So it looks like it renders slightly differently. That might be a contributing factor. Switching emulators up right now. And Johnny, you will join me for this? Because there are no bot matches. There's nothing else. There's no other way to get it working. So, yeah, this has link cable multiplayer. For some reason, it is as bare bones as humanly imaginable. There are not options except for picking the map. But there are 4 maps. And by God, we're going to show them all off. Just as soon as I probably should have configured like a way to show both screens at the same time here. I could probably... I'm just going to show my screen.
Yeah, we should be fine with that, yeah.
I think that'll be fine, ultimately. Okay. Did I crop too much? I'm also having to eyeball a crop job on the top of the screen here. Oh, nope, 22. Beautiful thing. Okay. I have the wrong window hooked into player 2 of 2. Okay, this is me. We are seeing me on the screen. If we go all the way to the left here, we can go into the multiplayer. Here is the multiplayer menu. Map 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you get in 2, Johnny. Yep. And
yeah.
What'll happen if I select
I
map
think it just
1?
goes, yeah.
Change the font real quick at the last second there. No music. We have our Sten and our pistol. I imagine.
Okay, hold on. Don't move. Don't. Okay, because if I remember right, just stay there. Just stay there.
I'm staying where I am. Oh,
there we go. Yeah. So.
Well, remember, people aren't seeing your screen.
But you see me, right?
I see you. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stand here. Go to the opposite wall.
Okay.
Because this is a good showcase of, and then yeah, look at me. Well, try and look at me. Because you want to see how stupidly big these maps are for 2 players.
Yep, Johnny is walking towards me.
There I am. Like these. Like it, yeah. I don't know if these maps are from the PlayStation 1 version. But I don't know, like, what player count they were designed for.
You know, I want to show both screens. Give me a second. Let me cook here. I'm going to show people your screen first, so you can take them on a guided tour in just a second while I get to cooking here.
Traveling around the...
Why isn't it showing?
So yeah, so I think they've gone for kind of like a...
hold on. It's being
semi-symmetrical
uncooperative
map here.
Unfortunately. Why is it not? Do I have to game capture into this window? You know, if I have to do too much troubleshooting here, I might have to give up on this endeavor, but I would really like to. It'd be really funny to me if I could show off split screen here. It's not working. That's a shame. I really wanted to show both screens simultaneously, but I think there might be something with the way MGBA handles rendering 2 windows simultaneously. So, okay. We're just going to have a match now.
Yeah. Now I have to... Whoa. God, every time the game speeds up when I'm getting near a wall.
I got you?
Yep. Oh, by the way, we start off with both the guns.
Yeah, both the guns. Forget the shotgun in this game. Or grenades or anything like that. We both have the same character sprite, by the way. We both
yeah.
are the same.
I mean, if there's only 2 players, then
Round Spacebug says, considering the game has auto aim and everyone has the same weapons, I don't see this being very fun. No, take that back. Don't be mean. They worked really hard on this. Look at this wall. They spent so much time drawing this wall. So many colors. Jodareel says their tip is to play as odd job so their player can't hit you. Yeah, were these levels fucking big enough? You got me.
Oh, do you know what I noticed, though? Okay, I'm going to purposely try and find you, so I'm going to stay in this middle area.
Oh, I'm also in the middle area. Yep.
Yeah. I think we are technically different characters. Yeah. You're the lady.
Oh, I'm the lady, and you're... No, you're the lady, and I'm Jocks. I think. The sprites are very similar. They're basically the same outfit.
Okay. It's weird because I'm listening to the audio and I noticed that the grunts
are different, yeah.
Different, yeah. Oh, actually, that's something else. There we go.
Do we both kill each other?
Yep. Oppa. Okay, yeah, you know what? Kill me here because I want to see something. You're coming towards me. Don't worry.
Yep.
But just, yeah, stay here.
Okay. What am I waiting on?
Ah! Hey, look at that. They spawned me in a different place so that I didn't spawn on top of you. They actually did account for that.
I mean, they just keep spawning on the other side of the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they spawn me on top of you. And now you spawned. Nope, you should only.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to be very close to the spawn, but they do a little bit of spawn rotation. Also, when you're in like the your down pose, the other player just looks like they're flying.
What does it look like if you crouch? I'm gonna come up to you. Press L and R at the same time when I get up close to you. All right, crouch for me. No difference.
Yeah, I was curious if you could tell. Also, hang on. When you crouch, do you just automatically go forward?
It is like moving you slightly. Yeah.
God, or is that just the graphics fucking up?
No, it's moving me slightly left. I think there's like a slight left bias as you're crouched. I'm definitely not pressing anything else.
Yeah, I tried like pressing the two shoulder buttons in different orders, and it did not really make a difference.
So when are we going competitive with this game? When are we getting the clan together? Get on X-Fire?
Yeah.
And we're going to get some clan matches going for this. You know, like, I've been playing Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, and, I think this might be the new hotness.
Ah! Yeah, it was close.
Return to base. Well, that went so well. Let's do it again. Map 2. It's not letting me select the map. Do you have to select the map?
No.
Huh? Did it just?
No.
Did it say no? That's enough. No more multiplayer for you. This is fascinating. Johnny accidentally went into the single player, but they were on the multiplayer screen with me.
All right.
Oh, thank God.
It's either I had to reset it or it's because I pressed a button.
Well, thank God, because it means we get to play more of this wonderful multiplayer mode.
What is this supposed to be?
Oh
Just
my! Get a load of
marveling
this.
at the-
Get a load of my screen real quick. What is happening here?
What? Fucking fake mirrors, fake walls, illusions in this one. Yeah. Oh god. Something. Okay. Well, I think I found you.
Did
Oh,
you?
maybe I didn't. Maybe.
Oh, yep.
Either Oh, okay. Either I found you, or you were one of the glitches for a second. I could really not tell.
I love the salt and pepper ceiling. This level looks delicious. Hey! So far, the score is, do we pause? Does it tell you the score? No. But it does pause your game as well.
Yeah, and select does nothing.
Well, it reloads.
Oh right. Yeah, that's sorry. I must be playing another game where select does. It's because in so many games select brings up like
A scoreboard.
who's
Well,
winning. Yeah.
you know, you can always look at the bottom of the screen, then you'll remember what game it is you're playing.
That's true. So what multiplayer did the PlayStation 1 version have?
You know, it had like basically just like deathmatch. I think it had it so you could like pick up weapons around the map in like a classic style of.
What?
I shot first. That's
Hey,
all that
what were
matters.
those noise? Well, that's the thing. I know I was shooting you first. And also, like, there were some really strange noises. It was going like, whoof, whoof. And I don't know what that was. Is that supposed to be the sound? Is that maybe when gunfire is like missing you?
Maybe. Bear in mind, we're only getting my sound. We're only getting the sound off of my Game Boy Advance right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. You're learning. I'm screen
What I'm
peeking
figuring
right
out-
now.
Yeah.
Good God. I don't even know, are these
What-
timed or are these like frag count? Because it seemed like arbitrary numbers for the.
It looked like it ended at 10. I'm trying to figure out if my gunfire. I know you can hear it.
Now
Okay,
I
yeah.
can.
If
You're
I'm
shooting
too...
now and I can't hear
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can get far enough away. Why did they even bother accounting for that? Maybe they had grander plans.
Maybe they intended for this to be a 4-player multiplayer mode at some point.
Yeah.
You know, that would explain the scale on the maps. God damn, are they too big? And I just assume that spawns you on the opposite side of the room, so my strategy has just been kill you, turn around 180 degrees. I died and then I won.
Wait.
I died and then I won.
Okay, no, look at the two numbers.
Yeah, okay, so there's something fucky going on here. So my screen says enemies eliminated 10 times I've died 4. Johnny's screen says enemies eliminated 6 times you've died 7.
Yeah. Hey, I got 6-7. I'm hip with the kids. I did that totally on purpose. Yeah, what? Like, the numbers aren't even right. What the fuck is going on?
So is this completely desynced? What is? I'm going to screenshot your screen so that people can see this at the very least. Yeah, this is what Johnny is seeing right now.
I mean, yeah, like the gameplay was clearly not desynced.
Yeah, it's working as well as it's going to work.
Now I'm curious. Is it going to break again?
It sure will.
Yep. So, I know how to fix this.
You have to start a campaign and then.
Start a campaign,
Oh my god.
and then quit campaign.
And then back into the multiplayer.
Oh.
I will also do the same ritual just to see if that does
I also
anything.
saw it looked like I saw for a brief second the
Like
sprite
for a frame,
where the
yeah.
where the text gets bigger. Yeah, I wonder if it's something weird where you have to kind of technically close connection. Oh, check out this bar.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to get to where you are. This grand
okay.
royal hall.
Because the folks can't see my stream. You'll have to get in front of the drinks and show what it looks like when you strafe in front of them.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
It's a matter
it's
of
like,
getting there first. I see the main arena part of this level, and it appears to be like we're going to be strafing wall.
Because yeah, it does not look like you're strafing.
I must just be on the wrong side. This map, again, needlessly big. Yeah. And again, love that there's no music for this. Love that they couldn't just repurpose the same tracks from the fucking campaign for this.
I wonder if that's a technical thing of not being able to run with music at the same time.
I mean, it must be. They must have a reason. Oh my god, this map is fucking massive, dog.
Okay. I'm gonna stand at like the entrance to my area. I guess this map's not quite symmetrical. Oh yeah, Quickman 573 in the chat asking if there's footstep sound effects. No. You can hit distant gunfire to a certain point.
Maybe start shooting. Okay, so I'm close enough that I can hear you.
Yeah. Because, yeah, there's no reason, outside of just knowing that that's a mechanic and fucking with the other player.
I don't want to fight on this map. I just want to see this fucking bar and then...
Yeah, okay, well, you wanna be in the area with red walls.
Okay. I don't know how to fucking get there, is the problem.
I think you went past some recently.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that might be it.
Am I on the same side as you? Probably not.
Okay, yeah, you can still hear me.
Yep.
Yeah, people noticing how this is starting to get, like, horror-esque.
Oh, it's been a horror show from the beginning.
Could be some sort of, like, lo-fi backrooms tribute.
This is fucking obscene. Okay, there you are. There you are.
There we go. I'm noticing, by the way. Hold on, I think I... Hold on, shoot once for me. Just hit the button, like, once. Yeah, my gun sounds different, I think.
Yeah. Why is that?
Also, sometimes when I hit the button, like, the amount of ammo that goes down, it changes. Like, sometimes I shoot 4.
Okay, let's take a look at this. Now we're
But yeah,
here.
if you, like, stand right up to it and strafe... That's a... Oh, weird. It didn't look as bad there. There you go. Yeah. Like, when I was doing it here, if you look at my screen...
Yeah.
I think what it is, yeah, if you do, like, certain movements, it, like, fixes some of the, like, perspective stuff.
If you
Like,
approach
maybe
it
if,
at
like,
exactly the right angle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I fixed it on my end, and then... Yeah, you have to be, like, straight dead on. Yeah, I wonder if... I wonder if technically, because you know our sprites are slightly different and we make different sounds, if I'm supposed to be using a different machine gun than you.
Who's to say?
Oh,
It spawns you in the
don't
bar
leave.
again.
I think it spawned me in the bar. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, let's fight in the main hallway. I want to strafe from one end to the other while shooting. So take a left. And then I want to get on the other side of this. Can I cross over the center? No. Okay. You're gonna step out. When you see a hole in the wall, just stand in front of that for me real quick. Okay. I'm gonna go to this side. You can still see me through the wall. I can't see you.
Yeah, I can. Yep. Sure, why not?
Okay. On a count of 3, we start strafing and shooting, okay?
All right. Yep.
And let me line up. All right. 3, 2, 1. Fuck it.
Oh, gotta reload. Oh. Well, I thought I was in front of a wall, but you got me still.
Damn, that was intense.
You looked like a fucking smooth criminal on my screen there.
Oh man.
Oh.
All right,
can
fuck,
respawn there for a
fuck this
second.
map.
Yeah. Now let's just confirm. Yep.
Yep, gotta do this again. This whole song and dance routine. They didn't expect players to want to play more than one match in a row? And it's this texture. Awesome. All right.
I'm in the corner. Oh, I realised what this texture is.
It's supposed to be
I'm
skulls.
looking at.
It's supposed to be skulls.
That's the
It's supposed to be
skulls,
the catacombs, yeah. Hey, you know what? I'll say something nice. You recognize what this was supposed to be. You know, that is the benefit of these higher resolution textures that are otherwise a complete detriment to the game, is that you were able to figure out that these are human skulls.
If I hadn't seen the textures in the PlayStation 1 version, I would not have figured that out.
That's a fair point.
It you know, took me 3 hours.
Oy vey. Oh. Mutually assured destruction.
I swear when that happens, we're also
Huh? Horrible spawns.
Yeah. Like sometimes it can rotate the spawns and sometimes it can't. Also, you were facing away from me on my screen. I thought I'd gotten the
drop on
the
me.
one-up.
But it was me who had the drop on you.
Yeah. I think something that also adds to sometimes making it look like you're moving faster is obviously the sidewall texture, like the way the perspective breaks on it, so it doesn't look like you're making forward progress, and then it like shifts, and then suddenly you are. That gives it like that weird Hall of Mirrors effect.
Sorry, I was just thinking about like MIDI maze on the Atari ST. And how that is like more technically competent and more fun than this is. How they managed to regress over the course of fucking 15 years or whenever Mini Maze came out, like 88. But this is like such a step backwards from that. Like it's nothing to say that Faceball 2000 on the Game Boy is a more advanced, is a better multiplayer experience than this is. You know, shout out to Uncle Derek. Shout out to my former boss. But this might be the most worthless fucking multiplayer mode to ever exist in anything ever. This is the antithesis of fun in what has to be just one of the worst first-person shooters ever made. This is as bad as it gets, folks.
Yeah. Well, at least if you're gonna put it on like the narrow track of what this is, of like taking a pre-existing first-person shooter and trying to bring it to another platform. I like it honestly gives like no, it doesn't give 3DO Doom Run for its money because that still has all of the same like content enemies. Like yeah, there's stuff scaled down in ways because it's based on the Jaguar version, but it is that Jaguar version just running poorly. Like that's still more than this. This is, so much had to be scrapped, and even then, it's like what they've got can't run. Like, in an objective sense, it runs, but in like a artistic playable sense, it's like it's hard to call this a working product. It's so strange.
Well, I think we've given our initial thoughts on this one. I don't think we need to do the thing where we cut away to the bottom of the screen and us popping up to say, anything about it. I think we've got like half a game ahead of us still in terms of the campaign, and I'm not looking forward to it. But we will come back. Before I even say that, let me first say, folks, thanks for tuning into this, the first episode of Medal of Honor Underground on the GBA, as played here on the Bad Game Hall of Fame. Oh boy. The things we get ourselves into. Another fine mess. We will return next week, Tuesday, April 21st, with more of this. But before that, we have some other things on the stream schedule, like Thursday, April 16th, which I have listed as pending. Still, we have not figured out what we're doing on Thursday. Honestly, I might take a day off. You want to take Thursday off?
That's up to you. If unless we find something really compelling.
We'll see. You'll know by Thursday whether we're streaming on Thursday or not. Tentative. We'll see if we figure something out. It's always something on the Bad Game Hall of Fame. Saturday, though, we have that for sure locked in. It is Light Gun Games Extravaganza, number 6. We return to rail shooters, light gun games et al. On the Bad Game Hall of Fame. Always a fun time. Me and Johnny, that's our baby, as the light gun aficionados, the rail shooter enjoyers, etc. And Monday, April 20th, bring in the 420 with a casual Monday. I reckon every Monday is a casual Monday here at the Bad Game Hall of Fame, where we play not so bad games and shoot the shit a little more casually. We'll be holding down the fort, just me and you on that one, I reckon. So we will each bring one game. We'll have an hour and a half to show them off, something like that, in lieu of Charky as our third. We'll figure it out, folks. We got a lot of figuring out to do in the coming weeks, coming month or so. But we also got to get a Patreon poll running.
No, it is running.
It is running. Oh, it is running. It is totally running. Oh, thank God. I
yes.
doubted myself for a second.
No, we gave extended time on that one.
Okay, very good. In that case, let me cut to the post-show promo stuff. Hey, if you like what you saw here tonight, consider joining the Discord server, discord.gg/pghof, a community of connoisseurs, talk good games, bad games, every game between, things that aren't video games. Join our Bad Game Club, though, and be among the community playing Snake's Revenge for the NES. Yeah, we played it on the show, but people might want to play it for themselves, and that's been our Bad Game of the Month. Every month we have a new bad game that the community commiserates over. As they play through it, they share tips and tricks with each other. It's very old school. It's very fun. So please consider doing that. If you don't like that choice of game for the Bad Game of the Month Club, just wait till next month. We'll have a new game. If you really like what you saw here tonight, you might consider financially supporting the show. Subscribing on Twitch, pledging on Patreon, becoming a member on YouTube. Any or all of the above will grant you access on the Discord server to a Patreon Saints channel, wherein you can vote in polls to help determine the direction of the show. No, help vote on polls to determine what playthroughs we get up to. In the poll this right now, that has a couple days left as of time of recording, is we're running a runners-up bracket. Games that have been on previous polls that came in second place previously but are getting a second shot now. So the list of games, 5 choices include The Dukes of Hazzard: Return of the General Lee for the PS2, Flashback, the reboot of Flashback for the PC in 2013, Planet of the Apes on PS1, Soul Calibur Legends on Wii, and Wheelman on PC, the 2009 Wheelman game. So you have a chance to vote on there, or on the Patreon, or both if you want your vote to count twice. Patreon pledgers get the benefit of voting twice as an added incentive. You can also, by financially supporting us, you do, in that channel, you can steer the direction of the show by making suggestions to us that we'll heed. You'll gain access to exclusive content, primarily by way of VODs, primarily the Casual Monday VODs at this current juncture. Over 150 hours of exclusive content from that show available to paying folk. And, also, just by supporting us, you know that we appreciate you. You know that we recognize you. You know that we thank you personally for your support of this goofy thing, for helping keep the lights on here at the Bad Game Hall of Fame, etc., etc. If you can't financially support us, we completely understand. If you're still looking for a way to support us that is free, we recommend going over to the YouTube channel, moseying on over to our suggested viewing playlist. There's 20 handpicked episodes on there that we think make for some of the best onboarding onto this here show of ours. Episodes that are fit to share with folk who might go for video game streams in the 3 to 4 hour range. Or maybe someone who's a big history buff. Big World War II history buff. And you can show them this game. And they can comment, well, actually, they make fun of the textures, but these wall textures, I've actually never seen anything so accurate to, because all the photos of World War II are primarily in black and white, but, I've seen I've seen the walls. They have the blue specks on them. They have the blue and the green and the red on those walls. This is the most accurate simulation I've ever seen. If you think you might know someone who might have that, ready to pull the trigger on that, show them this episode, I guess. I don't know. We leave it to your discretion, dear viewer, okay? That does it for the post-show plugging. Let me take just the quickest look. Yeah, let's send folk home tonight. How about that? How about we send folk home? We'll close out for tonight by saying, please to come in for next week. If you made it to the end of this one, you should really come around next week and watch us finish this damn thing. Encourage us. We're incorrigible in that way. Thank you for watching. That has been the Bad Game Hall of Fame. I have been Backwards Cullen Cassidy.
And I've been proud owner of 2 copies of Medal of Honor Underground and Game Boy Advance, Johnny Baghead.
Very good. Until next time, goodbye.
Toodles! I love it. Although the joke was on me, I'll sing to her, sprint to her, and wait for the day I'll cling to her. Gimme.